Don and I hit the road and the airports to settle things once and for all, and we didn't go alone. You'll see all our ups and downs this hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips, live in New York.
And I'm Don Lemon, live here at the CNN World Headquarters in Atlanta. You are in the CNN Newsroom.
Well, this is one of those small towns where news hardly ever happens, but overnight in the Canadian countryside, something horrible and violent happened. We're still waiting for a police statement. It's expected any minute now. Witnesses on the Greyhound bus say a man suddenly snapped and killed another passenger with a huge knife. Here now the recollections of a man who says he saw it all, and we warn you, his story's pretty disturbing.
I was sitting just in the seat in front of the killer and the victim. I was just reading a book. All of a sudden I heard a guy screaming. I turned around and the guy sitting right next beside me was standing up and stabbing another guy in the throat repeatedly. The guy that he stabbed was listening to his headphones and sleeping. The people at the front of the bus didn't really understand what was going on. Everybody was running, screaming off the bus. Me and a trucker that had stopped and the Greyhound driver ran up to the door to maybe see if the guy was still alive or we could help or something like that. And when we all got up, we seen that he was cutting off the guy's head there. And he saw us. He came back to the front of the bus, told the driver to shut the door. He pressed the button and the door shut, but it didn't shut in time, and the guy was able to get his knife out and take a swipe at us, so we backed off the door. He came, started walking to the front of the bus, and he had the head in his hand, and he just looked at us like this and dropped it on the ground, like totally calm. And we just stayed outside while he tried to get out the door, telling him, no, stay put, stay there, don't try to come out. He tried to get the bus working, and the bus driver disabled the bus. It was at that point, I think, that the police showed up.
And like I said, the Canadian police are releasing more information this hour. We're going to bring you details as we hear them.
All right, Carol, rescuers are searching for more possible victims of a plane crash south of Minneapolis. The business jet went down this morning in a cornfield near the airport in Owatonna. Now, the sheriff says 10 people were supposed to be on board. 7 bodies have been recovered. Another person is still in the hospital, leaving 2 unaccounted for. The flight originated in Atlantic City. Our Chad Myers joins us now, and he tells us when that happened, there were some strong storms going on in the area. Did they fly right through or right above a thunderstorm?
I'm not sure of the timing, Don, because the FAA doesn't actually know, hasn't released the time that it went out and where they were supposed to be. Still obviously notifying relatives here, but there's an ugly storm rolled right through the area, very close to the time, and we had wind gusts of 72 miles per hour at that little airport. They were trying to fly, but certainly there was lightning in the air, there were downdrafts, there were updrafts, all kinds of things in the air there up in Minnesota. Now that weather has actually scooted on down to almost Chicago. In O'Hare, you're about an hour behind because of that weather there. And Atlanta, 45 minutes to an hour behind because the rain around the area. And if you're sitting in an airport not able to take off to Atlanta, that's why. That's called a ground stop. You are not able to get in the air because they just don't know how many planes they're going to get on the ground. There's only 80 planes in the air right now on the way to Atlanta. There should be over 150. Which means 70 planes are still sitting there, either hopefully not on the tarmac, hopefully just at the gate, but I know some are probably sitting out there idling with everybody else getting disgusting because it's not raining where I am, but it is raining in Atlanta, I can assure you, Don.
Yeah, we could hear the thunder above us during the newscast.
Yeah.
Okay, Chad Myers, thank you very much, sir.
President Bush calling on congressional Democrats to allow a vote on offshore oil drilling before the August recess. Speaking at a coal mine operators convention in West Virginia, the president argued that lifting restrictions on offshore drilling will reduce gas prices.
There is legislation pending in Congress to lift the restrictions. My call is before you go home for an extended period of time, you ought to bring these bills to the floor. The leaders ought to be giving these members a vote, a chance to say yes or no as to whether or not we ought to be finding more domestic oil to take the pressure off gasoline prices.
Democrats oppose offshore drilling. They claim it would have no immediate impact on gas prices. Instead, they want to release a small amount of oil from the government's strategic petroleum reserve.
There is nothing that the Republicans are proposing that will have an impact on the price at the pump. Yeah, 10 years from now, 2 cents. But what we're saying is free our oil. It will have an impact in 10 days, not 10 years.
Competing Democratic and Republican energy proposals have stalled in Congress, which is scheduled to begin a 5-week recess this weekend.
Well, you know it's a weird economy when you rack up the biggest quarterly profits in U.S. history and investors are still disappointed. Well, that's the case for ExxonMobil, reporting almost $11.7 billion in second quarter income. Now, I'm talking almost $1,500 a second, $1,500 a second, and watching its stock price slide because Wall Street expected even more. Well, the company points out it doesn't just sell oil, it also buys a lot of it.
Well, it's a down day for stocks or an up day, depending on which index you look at. Right now, Dow Industrial's down 98 points. NASDAQ, though, still in a bit of a rally mode. Oil prices pretty much flat on weak data pointing to lower demand in America.
All right, let's talk some politics now. We're talking about blistering new attacks today in the race for the White House. John McCain's campaign manager accuses Barack Obama of playing the race card. That after Obama attacked McCain's new TV ad that criticizes Obama and includes shots of Britney Spears and Paris Hilton. The ad calls a Democratic candidate the world's biggest celebrity. Roland Martin and Tara Wall from the Washington paper will join us in just a little bit. Washington Times, as a matter of fact. She's a columnist there. They're going to join us in the CNN Newsroom a little bit to talk about this back and forth and if this is just the beginning. Of course, we're sure it is. Also, straight ahead in the CNN Newsroom, we'll listen to what John McCain and Barack Obama are saying today as they court voters in the Midwest. Kira?
2 days after her indictment on corruption charges, his indictment on corruption charges, Senator Ted Stevens has entered a not guilty plea. The Alaska Republican was arraigned today in Washington. He's accused of lying on financial disclosure forms to conceal thousands of dollars in gifts from an oil services contractor in his home state. He asked that his trial be held before his re-election bid in November. The judge tentatively set it to begin in late September.
Okay, we told you about this back and forth between Barack Obama and John McCain. Joining me now from New York, CNN political analyst Roland Martin and Washington Times columnist Tara Wall. Thank you both for joining us today. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Thanks, Tara and John, for Roland, I should say, from joining us. Roland can't hear us right now, but we'll get to Roland in just a moment. Tara, okay, so you heard, what Barack Obama had to say today about those ads. Let's listen to Barack Obama, and then I want to listen to John McCain. Take a listen.
So what they're saying is, well, we know we're not very good, but you can't risk electing Obama. You know, he's new, he's doesn't look like the other presidents on the currency. He's got a funny name.
Okay, so he's got a funny name, which he self-admittedly does, and people will say that as well. And you know what, Tara and Roland? He doesn't look like the other candidates on the dollar bill, as he said. So our former presidents on the dollar bill. Is this really playing the race card?
Well, he doesn't, but that's obvious. He doesn't have to say that. That goes without saying. I think, the question is, why did he say it? Why does he have to say it? It's not something, I mean, this is the Barack Obama who says we are one America. You know, we need to supersede race, if you will. He makes legitimate points about how the McCain campaign is focusing on things, that are irrelevant as far as celebrity and things like that. That's legitimate, but certainly that you can't compare. I think he runs in trouble here if he's comparing the fact that you can't criticize his record without also saying that you're criticizing his race. I think that's a double-edged sword that he shouldn't want to interject at this point. And it's something, quite frankly, John McCain has never injected race into this race at this point.
Okay, Roland, Rick Davis from the McCain campaign manager, said Barack Obama has played the race card, and he played it from the bottom of the deck. It is divisive, negative, shameful, and wrong. Roland.
Well, actually, I think Rick is wrong in that regard. I think where Obama made the mistake is if you play that comment again, prior to him making that quote, he mentioned Bush, then McCain, then raised that point. Had he said bloggers, columnists, conservative talk show hosts. They've been throwing this stuff around. He would be absolutely right. They have been doing it, but he made a mistake, I think, by trying to associate John McCain by saying, oh, they're going to question, I don't look like the people who own money. And that's why when Bill Burton came out with a second statement, he then clarified it by saying Barack Obama does not believe that John McCain has done this. Obama was the one who made the mistake. He should have been more specific who he was talking about. The mistake is on him. And so McCain, I can understand why his camp is responding the way they would.
That's right.
I would do the exact same thing.
Okay, listen,
That's
so
right.
admittedly from both of you, it's a gaffe.
And yeah, absolutely. And quite frankly, McCain's campaign says it feels like it had to say something at this point because they need to defend themselves. They needed to defend their candidate.
Okay.
You do have all these liberal bloggers out there saying that some of the ads that the McCain campaign has run is racist, which is
Tara,
ridiculous at this point. So I think they feel like they had to defend themselves.
We have a short time, and I want to get on to other points. We've been seeing these ads with Britney Spears, Paris Hilton, and what have you. And John McCain has said that he was going to run a campaign that was above board. Same thing for Barack Obama. But it seems to be getting nasty on both sides because John McCain had put this ad out, Barack Obama responded, and both are being criticized for going below the belt.
Look, first of all, every candidate says, let's stay above the belt, let's run nice, clean campaigns, and none of them do.
Right.
And American public always says, we don't like negative ads, but they always respond to negative ads. So that's nonsense there. The problem with the McCain ad is childish. It's unnecessary. McCain wants to come across as a commander-in-chief. Well, that ad doesn't portray that.
Okay, Roland. Go ahead, Tara.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, it's this is the way campaigns are run. If people think that this is nasty, just wait until the fall. I mean, this is nothing in comparison for what's to come. I think that, it was probably a little juvenile, but then again, it was funny as well. And quite frankly, Barack Obama himself had a lighthearted chuckle about it in a sense that he was very, upbeat about his response to it. So I don't think it did too much damage in the way of being considered a negative ad.
Okay, Tara and Roland, I got to ask you guys this. Now, I've seen you guys agree, and I've seen you disagree. Now, you're going to be in the same room tonight. Can we get along here? Are you guys going to get along?
No.
We're gonna try. You know we got that love-hate thing going on, so we're gonna try.
That's boring TV.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you. Thank you both for joining us.
You
And we
bet.
want to tell you that make sure you tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern when Roland Martin and Tara Wall will host the CNN Election Center. You don't want to miss that. 8 p.m. Eastern, only here on CNN. Okay, well, they came at me, hitting and swinging. A man accused of assaulting a police officer says he's the one who was assaulted. We've got the story for you.
And it's the great race, newsroom style. Don and I take a trip to a vacation paradise. I travel by air. Don hits the road. We'll see who saves the most money.
The event is now on. But it won't last forever. The Lexus Summer Sales Event, where you'll find the best values of the year at your Lexus dealer, now through September 2nd.
We are more than 1 million strong, from across America. We've come together despite our differences, determined to solve the climate crisis. If enough of us demand cleaner forms of energy, we can't be ignored. You can't solve the climate crisis alone, but together we can. Take a minute, go to wecansolveit.org today and make your voice heard.
In February 2009, TV stations will broadcast exclusively in digital. Every TV that's hooked up to cable will still work just fine. But if you get TV through an antenna on an analog set, it won't work after February 2009. So call 888-DTV-2009 to learn about a government coupon program that begins in January, or visit dtvtransition.org.
Christian Amanpour takes you inside the world of Buddhism. Buddha's Warriors, all new, CNN Saturday and Sunday night, 8 Eastern.
The Red Sox will open a 3-game set in Boston tomorrow night. And in Boise. And Birmingham. Beautiful night here in Chicago. And in Charlotte. And Chattanooga. The Yankees take the field in New York. And in Newport Beach. With the MLB Extra Innings Package, your team is in your town no matter where you live. Catch all your team's games or scout the competition with MLB Extra Innings. Call 1-888-COMCAST to order now.
With MLB Extra Innings, I guess I can work from home.
I wish you would.
Wow, this is weird. It's like a really obvious metaphor for Comcast high-speed internet, which is so much faster than DSL from the phone company. It's like a dream.
Let's do it again, Bill. Bill?
Carolyn! Ah! We still have DSL, right?
You had the bad dream again, didn't you?
Yeah, but this time she was blonde.
Go way faster than DSL with Comcast high-speed internet. It's Comcastic.
It's amateur video spreading across the World Wide Web, shot by a passerby. It shows a New York cop beating a man with a police baton, and it's once again raising questions about police treatment. In a high-tech time when we're able to see more of it, here's a look from CNN's Josh Levs.
The event was captured on home video. The man is not yet handcuffed here. The video does not show what led to his arrest, and we can't know for certain whether he's resisting or how much. New York City police say Michael Cephas had swung an umbrella at a police officer and hit him with his fists, causing the officer to suffer substantial pain. Police say during the arrest, Cephas kept grabbing for the officer's baton. Police have charged him with assault on a peace officer and resisting arrest. Cephas says he did nothing wrong. He says officers approached him because they thought he was drunk and carrying alcohol. He says he wasn't.
Like I said, when they came at me, without telling me to put my hand behind my back, they just came at me with force, hitting, swinging, and that's when the umbrella hit the floor. I never swung no umbrella.
Cephas' attorney provided the video to the media. We don't know who shot it. The NYPD says an officer has been put on modified assignment during the investigation. The Patrolmen's Benevolent Association says the video shows the use of force was necessary and appropriate, and the officer involved should never have been placed on modified assignment. It's the latest example of third-party videos raising questions about police actions. Just days ago, this video showed a New York police officer apparently slamming a bicyclist to the ground. An investigation is underway.
Josh Levs joins us now. Josh, how much of a role does the internet play in this?
It really does. I mean, that's something you were touching on just there. What happened was that last video we saw there really caught fire on the internet. And these days, the fact that so many people can take these videos and then share them so easily it's empowering to people who claim there was wrongdoing. But we also always have to keep in mind that these videos are only showing us one slice of the story. And Kira, it's possible that sometimes we're just seeing the cops doing their jobs.
All right, Josh, thanks.
Thanks.
Well, straight ahead, the great race. Don and I take a trip to a vacation paradise. I travel by air. Don hits the road.
All right, this is where I get stressed out, not knowing how long the security lines are going to be.
Did you see that guy cut us off? Weenie.
Now travel with us to see who saves the most money.
A veteran who suffered enormous loss, now one of the things he loved the most is back. This one will bring tears to your eyes.
You're keeping some money in the bank. Good. That's step one on the road to happiness. But if that money is in a regular bank account, how fast is it growing? Want to speed things up? Put that money in an Orange savings account from ING Direct. You'll earn high interest, your money will grow. And because you'll never pay a fee, it'll just keep growing. Don't just park your money somewhere. Grow it in an Orange savings account. You're gonna love this.
I've been waiting for so long. Now I finally found someone to stand by me. We saw the writing on the wall as we felt this magical fantasy.
What? Fly free to Sandals and get up to 30% off. Wow! We now return you to our regularly scheduled commercial. For full offer details, call 1-800-SANDALS or your travel agent or visit sandals.com.
Larry King Tonight. Former cult members and their shocking claims. What they say they were forced to do in the name of religion. Former members of the Family International on Larry King Live. CNN Tonight, 9 Eastern. The conventions on CNN starting August 25th, the Democrats, starting September 1st, the Republicans. Every history-making moment.
CNN equals politics.
Sponsored by DividedWeFail.org.
If you have diabetes, then you know what this is. It's your lifeline. Luckily for us, these new meters are more accurate, they're easier to use, and the best news is you don't have to prick your fingers anymore. Access Diabetic Supply will send you one of these new meters, no charge. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, your testing supplies may also be covered. Call Access now to see if you qualify. They bill Medicare or your insurance company directly. There are no upfront costs, and they deliver your supplies right to your door for free. Call now and find out why thousands of people choose Access.
For more information, call 1-800-901-8063. Operators are standing by.
Access is America's choice for diabetic supplies. Call Access today. You'll be glad you did.
Well, you know, it's not easy being governor of California, but today it's even harder working under him. With no state budget 1 month into the fiscal year, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger has just signed an order cutting 22,000 state jobs and drastically cutting the pay of 200,000 state workers. How drastic? Well, they now earn the federal minimum wage, $6.55 an hour.
None of this had to happen. I've been saying this ever since the January budget, that the legislators should start negotiating immediately, that we have a lot of problems, not just the budget problem, but also a problem with our dysfunctional budget system and also declining economy.
California lawmakers are stuck over how to make up a $15 billion deficit.
It's called the mother of all economic reports, the gross domestic product, and we have a first look at the numbers for the second quarter. Susan Lesovich has been going through all the paperwork at the New York Stock Exchange to try and break it all down. Hey, Susan.
Hey, Kara. Well, it's the initial look at second quarter GDP, and it grew about twice as fast as the first quarter. The economy, the largest in the world, grew nearly 2%, but it was worse than expected. Fourth quarter, meanwhile, of 07 revised to show a contraction. That's the first time that's happened since the last recession in 2001. You have to remember that a lot of the growth in the last quarter was because of all those stimulus checks that went out. It boosted consumer spending in the face of higher prices. The weak U.S. dollar, meanwhile, boosted exports. That helped, while imports declined because we're spending less on everything, including gas. Kira.
Well, GDP is such a huge report, as we all know, but something we all understand is jobs. We had another troubling number on the jobs front today. Not good news.
Not good news, especially because we're getting the government's monthly report on jobs tomorrow, Kira. The initial weekly jobless claims shows that it rose to the highest level in 5 years as 44,000 more Americans filed for unemployment benefits. The 4-week average is close to 400,000. That's a level that's considered a recessionary red flag, and it doesn't bode well for the jobs report tomorrow because we've seen job losses every month this year. So we're talking about the GDP and the weekly jobless claims. The big difference between the two is that the GDP is more of a backward-looking number. The jobless claims a little bit more current from several months ago. So both of them involved in sentiment in the market today. And as we're in the final hour of trading, we're seeing a mixed session. The Dow Industrials, after back-to-back triple-digit gains, is down 115 points, about 1%. The NASDAQ, meanwhile, has been higher all day. Imclone is one of the stocks that trade at the NASDAQ, and its shares are up 37%. Oil settled down more than $250 after yesterday's big gain. And, of course, I'll be talking about you for the closing bell, and if we have time, $100 billion for a loaf of bread. Talk about inflation. That's a lot of bread, and I'll talk about it for the closing bell if we have time, Kira. Back to you.
Sounds good. See you in about 20 minutes.
Well, it's part of our effort here at CNN to help you make an informed choice in the presidential race. We're going to play more of what the candidates are saying out on the campaign trail. Let's listen to what Democrat Barack Obama had to say today as he spoke at a town hall in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Immediate assistance, because the problems that many of you are facing in your daily lives go beyond just recovering from a flood. I've often said that this election is a defining moment in our history. You're working harder for less. 468,000 Americans have lost their jobs since the beginning of this year. We have the highest rate of foreclosure since the Great Depression, impacting communities all across the country. It's harder to save. It's harder to retire. And the worst part is that I think a lot of Americans feel as if not only are things getting tougher for them right now, but they're worried about the future of their children and their grandchildren, and whether they're going to be able to pass on a better America to them. That's, after all, what the American dream's all about. That's what the American dream has always been all about, that if you try, you can make it here in America. If you work hard, you can make it. And you don't just make it for yourself, but you're passing on a better life to the next generation. And that's what people are anxious about. They're not so sure right now. And given the seriousness of the issues, given the fact that the decisions that we make right now are going to help determine the future, not just of the next generation, but perhaps generations after that. Given the magnitude of our challenges when it comes to energy and health care and jobs and our foreign policy, you'd think that we'd be having a serious debate. But so far, all we've been hearing about is Paris Hilton and Britney Spears. I mean, I do have to ask my opponent, is that the best you can come up with? Is that really what this election's about? Is that what is worthy of the American people? Even the media has pointed out that Senator John McCain, who started off talking about running an honorable campaign, has fallen back into the predictable political attacks, the demonstrably false statements.
John McCain's campaigning today in Wisconsin. We'll hear what he has to say just a few minutes from now.
It's one of the most comprehensive surveys ever made of Black Americans. We're going to show you some of the surprising results and talk with the man who authorized the study.
If you're all thumbs when it comes to sending text messages or playing games on your mobile device, well, how about tilting instead? Gesture Tech, a company featured at the 2009 Mobile Innovation Competition, uses cameras to detect hand motions.
There's no hardware involved. We're just using the existing camera on the mobile and our little bit of software to interact and play games, web browse. You do not have to touch the screen. What you'll be doing is looking at the screen itself. The camera's looking at you, and you will send the signal to it to flip through a page, flip through a song list, stop, play, or zoom.
The gestures, he says, can even navigate a subway map.
I'm tilting way out. I can read names of the substations. I can see where the end is.
And the games create a Wii-like sensation on a small screen. Bowling, for example.
So in this case, I'll push the button down and my ball appears right there in the lane. I take it down in a very Wii-like motion, bring it up and let go, and there goes the ball down the lane. And by tilting and rocking, I get my shot off.
If you're in the middle of a gesture and heaven forbid you actually get a phone call,
we will interrupt the game or interrupt the web browsing, whatever, and say, you have an incoming phone call. So do you want to take this call or do you want to ignore it?
Not that we're thumbing our noses at being all thumbs, just get ready. Mobile phone providers will be offering more games and gestures as options to give those thumbs a rest. Rob Marciano, CNN.
The next big thing, brought to you by Sprint.
It's the most heartwarming product placement movie of the year.
Rachel, you know what your problem is. You want everything. You want a husband, you want unlimited text, unlimited data, and unlimited calls.
Instinct, only from Sprint.
Someone got an email.
Featuring lightning-fast internet, voice-cued GPS navigation, and starring the Simply Everything plan from Sprint.
Why wouldn't I want everything for just $99.99 a month? Maybe you're afraid to be in love.
The new Samsung Instinct, only on the Now Network.
I think I'm falling in love. With a phone.
Here, at this modern-day watering hole, this urban Serengeti, it's man meets reptile.
So, Lucy, what are you doing?
Just a little online shopping.
You should check out Geico.com, get a free rate quote. If you like what you see, you can buy it online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Cool.
Remarkable. Oh, no. Did you hear something?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The world is a noisy place, but you can relax in your own peaceful sanctuary. Experience the Bose Quiet Comfort 2 acoustic noise-canceling headphones. Quiet Comfort headphones deliver an unmatched combination of highly acclaimed noise reduction, audio performance, and comfortable fit. Owners tell us how musical nuances come through in almost any environment. QC2 headphones offer the lifelike audio performance you'd expect from Bose, the most respected name in sound. These comfortable headphones electronically identify and reduce noise while faithfully preserving music or tranquility. Travel and Leisure Golf says these headphones allow you to forget the world outside. Use our 30-day risk-free trial. Ask about making 12 easy payments with no interest charges from Bose. Order now and receive free shipping. Call today and leave the noise behind.
In February 2009, TV stations will broadcast exclusively in digital. Every TV that's hooked up to cable will still work just fine. If you get TV through an antenna, you can still keep your sets working. Just call 888-DTV-2009 to learn about a government coupon program for converter boxes. Or visit dtvtransition.org.
Closed captioning hours provided by Capsaicin. Fast-lasting relief make pain powerless.
Arthritis pain's debilitating.
Capsaicin works differently, blocking pain for fast-lasting relief. Capsaicin Cream and new no-mess applicator.
Takes the pain out of arthritis.
It's time for answers. Tough.
But again, we're not dealing with the issue.
Relentless.
This is anti-middle class. It's anti-U.S. citizen.
Mr. Independent.
Doesn't anybody deserve a government that works?
Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 Eastern on CNN.
Hello, everyone. I'm Don Lemon, live here at the CNN World Headquarters in Atlanta.
And I'm Kira Phillips in New York. You're live in the CNN Newsroom.
All right, it's time now to tell you some of the stories we're working on for today right here in the CNN Newsroom. It is a horrifying attack on a Greyhound bus in Canada. Witnesses say a man stabbed a fellow passenger dozens of times, then cut off his head. A small jet has crashed in Minnesota, killing at least 7 people. The pilot was trying to land at a regional airport in a heavy thunderstorm. Lawyers for Senator Ted Stevens have entered a not guilty plea for him. The Alaska Republican is charged with failing to disclose more than $250,000 in gifts he received. Stevens will remain free until his trial, tentatively set for September.
As part of our effort to help you make an informed choice in the presidential race, we're playing more of what the candidates are saying on the campaign trail. Let's go ahead and listen to what Republican John McCain had to say a short time ago at a town hall in Racine, Wisconsin.
We can do this together. On Iraq, Senator Obama says he wants peace, but even today he opposes the surge strategy that succeeded in Iraq and will succeed in Afghanistan. His policy of unconditional withdrawal, regardless of the facts on the ground, which our highest-ranking military officer, Admiral Mullen, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said would be very dangerous. His policy could result in renewed violence and a third Iraq war. I hate war. I know it costs better than many. I'm going to end this war, but when I bring our troops home, they will come home with victory, leaving Iraq secured as a democratic ally in the Arab heartland. The bottom line is that Senator Obama's words, for all their eloquence and passion, don't mean all that much. And that's the problem with Washington. It's not just the Bush administration. It's not just the Democratic Congress. It's that everyone in Washington says whatever it takes to get elected or to secure the political future that they seek. If Senator Obama doesn't have the strength to speak openly and directly about how he will address the serious challenges confronting America, how will he be strong enough to really change Washington? We don't need another politician in Washington who puts self-interest and political expediency ahead of problem solving. We need to start putting the country's interests first and come together to keep American families safe and help them realize their dreams for a better life. My friends, in war and in peace, I've been an imperfect servant of my country, but I've been her servant first, last, and always. Whenever I faced an important choice between my country's interests or my own interests, party politics, or any special interests, I chose my country. Nothing has ever mattered more to me than the honor of serving America, and nothing ever will. If you elect me president, I will always, always put our country first. I will.
John McCain's campaign accuses Barack Obama of playing the race card. And coming up at the top of the hour on CNN's Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer, McCain's supporter and potential running mate Rob Portman will weigh in on McCain's comments.
All right, they're calling this unprecedented. It's been called one of the most comprehensive surveys ever made of African-American opinion, and it has produced some very fascinating results. For instance, when asked how they would like to be described, 44% of those asked said African-American, 42% said black, and 11% said they simply don't care. But there is more to this data than just the raw numbers, and we want to go behind this data and get some personal stories about this and bring in Barry Mayo. He is the president of Radio One, the media group that has authorized this survey, and he joins us now from Washington. Thank you very much for joining us today, sir. Okay, so people said they'd rather be called African-American than black, but that's not the most fascinating thing that comes out of this. I want to go about these subgroups that you've done. Yes. Basically, you broke down African-Americans in 11 sort of subgroups here. Broadcast blacks, connected black teens, black is better, and then you go on, stretch black straddlers, digital networkers, and boomer blacks. How do they come up with these categories? It seems a little bit different than most surveys I've seen.
Well, Don, first of all, thank you for inviting us. I think the first thing you have to understand is the macro point of this study is that you can't look at black Americans as a monolithic group. We are as diverse as the general market. We went and found the most respectable research company that we could find, Yankelovich, been doing this for 50 years, to do a deep dive into taking a snapshot of the entire black consumer market.
Why did you do this? What you wanted to learn for what?
Well, to understand the answer to that question, you have to understand what Radio One is. I mean, Radio One, most people who are familiar with the company know that we've got 53 radio stations, but many don't know that we've got a cable network, TV One, that we own Giant Magazine, that we have a controlling interest in the Tom Joyner brand.
So you have a huge voice in the black community, and there's
82 million people. 82%, excuse me, of black America we speak to each week. So we felt we needed to know.
But you need to know that, but it's also you're doing this so that that the world can know, and especially African Americans. And I want to go on and talk about this. Let's talk about the future, because some of these statistics are not the exact statistics that we usually hear. Because 70% of black people who you polled said that they have a plan for their future. And 60% said they thought that things were getting better. 54% optimistic about the future. And blacks, usually you don't hear that, Mr. Mayo.
Clearly, if one were to rely on mainstream media, you would not have the true picture of the fact that the majority of African Americans or black Americans are optimistic about the future and have a plan. Even more surprising in this study was the young people, how optimistic they were. And young black executive is how my 19-year-old considers himself. They're saving up for business.
Let's get through some of these because I want to talk education now. Let's talk about education. 34% say they have at least some college. 21% of BA or higher, and almost a third make more than $50,000 a year.
That's correct. Well, the overwhelming, when you think of education, the macro picture, the big story is that 80% of all African Americans, that represents 30 million people, see education as the future. That's our way out.
All right, real quickly. Blacks in health. 83% say that they have health insurance, and about half say they have a healthy lifestyle. We always hear problems with health. We were talking to someone yesterday about HIV in the black community. Was this surprising to you? Was this one of the most surprising parts of the study?
I think the fact that 83% of us did, but you know, the study showed our warts also. There is a segment called Family Struggles, and there's a segment called Sick and Stressed. They don't, by and large, have health insurance. So, but 83% do.
Wow. Okay, very interesting stuff that everyone can learn from this, and it'll be interesting to talk further about the results from this and exactly how this plays to your particular audience as well. Okay, Barry Mayo, who is the president of Radio 1, the media group that authorized this study. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you very much, Don.
She's the #1 official in state government, but even she has to prove that she's over 21 before going to a bar. Find out which governor had to head home last weekend because she forgot her ID.
So far, not so bad. $32, $33. What's up with all these nets?
Security took forever. Now we only have about 20 minutes till our flight.
Oh, Kira's baby looks just like her, doesn't it? And which is cheaper for the family vacation, flying or driving? Kira and I put it to the real-life test.
Between threat and response. Between mission defined and mission accomplished. There is one important word. How. And it is the how that makes all the difference to the men and women who go into harm's way.
CNN's Black in America, an extraordinary series, a tremendous accomplishment. CNN's Black in America is the most watched cable news documentary of the year with nearly 13 million viewers.
This is CNN.
Saturday and Sunday night, Christian Amanpour, inside the world of Buddhism, in the fight for freedom and democracy. Their weapon is peace. They are Buddha's warriors. CNN Saturday and Sunday night, 8 Eastern.
Not many sure things on the road to happiness, but there's one. Put your cash in an orange savings account from ING Direct, and it'll grow. The secret is, you got a pen? High interest. Tell your friends. Save your money.
Businesses are continually challenged by the winds of change. Our job is to anticipate and prepare for them, to lead a workforce in transition, to recruit and keep top talent ahead of the curve, to manage healthcare costs, to find strategic solutions that help you succeed in these challenging economic times. Human resource professionals meeting the challenges of a changing world.
John McCain, he's been in Washington for 26 years, and as gas prices soared and dependence on oil exploded, McCain was voting against alternative energy, against higher mileage standards. Barack Obama, he'll make energy independence an urgent national priority, raise mileage standards, fast-track technology for alternative fuels, a $1,000 tax cut to help families as we break the grip of foreign oil, a real plan and new energy.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
I know your husband. You know my wife. I've given your child a ride home. It's me, Coach Sanders.
And what you don't know are the really fun games I make a kid play after practice.
Help make child sexual abuse disappear. Go to darknesstolight.org.
All right, there's still some summer left, so have you taken your summer vacation yet? Did you fly or did you drive? Well, with gas prices hovering around $4 a gallon and the airlines tacking on baggage fees and raising rates as well, it's a tough choice.
And what do you think? Is it a better deal for your family? Well, Dawn and I decided to put it to a real-life test. How much time and money would a family of 3 spend getting to their vacation spot in a car versus a plane? Here you go.
Our trip from Atlanta to vacation destination Orlando, that's about 450 miles. I went by car, Kira by plane. And for added realism, we both brought along one of those dolls programmed to cry just like a real baby. Baby is crying. It's 8:45 and the baby is crying.
I have a feeling this baby is going to be more difficult than anything else, so here we go.
And flying for the average family can be difficult and expensive if you start adding extra bags per person.
So if you're traveling with a family of 3 and each person has 2 bags, then the second bag costs $20.
Yes, if you do it at the airport. But for the families I met along the way, it was still worth it.
So whose idea was it to fly? Mom's. All right, and why did you pick flying, Mom?
Well, it's easier than a 16-hour drive from Ohio.
So I'm curious, why fly instead of driving?
Gas prices.
Too expensive?
And I have a 7-year-old, so a lot less time in the car.
Speaking of time in the car, we're back on the road from Atlanta to Orlando. 12:22. And we are in, I'm not exactly sure where we are. I guess we're getting close to Valdosta, Georgia. Because when you get on a plane, it's just to go, it's all about getting there. When you're in a car, part of it's getting there, but a lot of it's what's in the middle. Hey, I'm shopping for peanut clusters. For the families I met along the way, driving had some definite payoffs.
Well, we did have the choice and we chose driving.
Why'd you choose? The gas prices are high. Why are you driving?
Because airline tickets are even higher and it's educational for the kids.
So why did you drive to Tampa instead of flying?
Well, we carpool. So it was faster to carpool.
It's more economical, you think?
Yeah.
All right, this is where I get stressed out. Not knowing how long the security lines are going to be. I have never seen it like this in a really long time.
But getting through security with a baby, even a fake one, can be a little tricky.
Man, this baby's got a metal head. Oh, Lord. Stop that. Stop.
Okay, that was an experience. Security took forever. Now we only have about 20 minutes till our flight.
Did you see that guy cut us off? Weenie. We've got a child on board, mister. Slow it down. I wouldn't have stopped for a couple of hours, but I think the baby needs changing.
Okay, here's one advantage of flying. Don has to drive, right? 7 hours. Well, he can't have a cocktail. Jeff, what do you have there?
Got a Chardonnay and a Merlot here.
What do you recommend?
The Chardonnay.
Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round.
The miles are adding up, and so are the costs. So which one was cheaper, flying or driving? Well, for a family of 3, our airfare added up to $891. When you add in the $8 a day parking at the airport for a 5-day vacation, that tacks on another $40. Grand total, $931.
And now let's do the math on the road trip. We spent about $80 round trip for gas, and lunch for 2 adults was about $30. If you take your own car, that's pretty cheap, just $110. But if you decide to rent the SUV, that can tack on another $641 more for 5 days for a grand total of $751. So it costs more to fly either way, but Kira's flight took a lot less time, so which is better? Well, it all depends on who you ask.
It's a lot cheaper today to drive.
So do you like flying or driving better when you take a trip?
Flying.
Flying? How come?
Because it's faster.
It's faster.
All right, so my flight only took a couple of hours, Don, but you were on the road a heck of a lot longer.
I was on the road for 6.5 hours, but we got to stop at the pecan, place there in Georgia. We also stopped at Great Adventure, and, the VJ here. Come here, Zach. You can have he's been bugging me for these peanut clusters, goo clusters all day here. Go ahead, you can have it. I also got some peanut brittle and what have you. And then, again, we stopped at Great Adventure. But you're right. It takes a long time, but it's economical, I think, to drive. But you said you found the same thing with people flying.
Hey, time is everything. You want to get there quicker, and it was. For these families, it was a lot cheaper when they weighed out the price of gas.
It's an adventure. Fun stuff, Kira.
All right. Well, straight ahead, we're talking about a homeless vet that was reunited with one of his best friends. It's the story of a man, his dog, and their tearful reunion.
Now's a great time to do something smart with your money, like spend less of it at Hyundai's Dollars and Cents sales event. Hurry in and get up to $3,500 cash back on Hyundai's fuel-efficient Veracruz, Santa Fe, and Tucson with up to 25 miles per gallon. The Santa Fe was named one of the 10 most fuel-efficient three-row SUVs, and it's thousands less than the Ford Edge. Come see why great fuel economy and America's best warranty make Hyundai the smartest choice of the summer. Right now, get a 2008 Santa Fe with up to $3,500 cash back.
Okay, let's do it. Stand by, Wolf. Stand by, everyone. Come to me. Here's my thing. Cue. Music. Hold. Straight to you, Wolf. Roll to your one track. Go.
Welcome to KFC.
Okay, I will have. You've got a value menu?
Sure do. What can I get you? Sir? Hello?
Introducing the new value menu at KFC. Snackers, sandwiches, popcorn, chicken, and more, starting at just 99 cents. The food you love at a price you'll love even more. Life tastes better with KFC.
Taste the best right here at home. Carlton's Walk in the Park, August 2nd and 3rd, a benefit for local charities. It's first-class artists, restaurants, and winemakers together in the cool shade of a wine country oak grove. Plus performances from top Northwest musicians, including Joni Harms, Pan Gypsies, Aaron Meyer, and the March 4th Marching Band. Taste the best at Carlton's Walk in the Park, online at carltonswalkinthepark.com.
Would you like to double, triple, or even quadruple your income and eliminate your credit card debt?
I make $5,000 a month in residual income.
These people got started by getting a free DVD that showed them the way to financial freedom.
We'll be making over $8,000 a month this month.
We made over $18,000 last month.
Our free DVD will guide you into the perfect home-based business.
Respond now while this is still a free service. Go to 20yoursuperjob.com. That's 20yoursuperjob.com.
A Blue Ribbon event's coming your way. The Clark County Fair with lots of big, wild fun. Big name entertainment, wild thrilling rides, and lots of fun all around. New this year, How the West Was Fun. Here's what's happening at the Clark County Fair. Hey Mom, be sure to take the kids by the Comcast Kids Park. With plenty of free activities, jugglers, magicians, fun shows, and make and take crafts. Come to the Clark County Fair. It's big, wild fun.
Buddha's Warriors, all new, CNN Saturday and Sunday night, 8 Eastern.
Well, some bouncers take their jobs very seriously. Just ask the governor of Washington, Christine Gregoire. She was turned away from a bar in Olympia Saturday night because she forgot to bring her ID. And since she couldn't prove that she was over 21, well, she had to head home. So the governor's husband and staff were allowed inside. She says she's keeping a good sense of humor about it. She says it's a compliment that the bouncer thought that she was under 21 years old.
Oh, okay. Well, they were together for more than 15 years, but when a dog belonging to a homeless vet named Bob Michelasco got sick, he realized he could no longer care for it. He left the dog on a veterinarian's doorstep, along with a note asking them to euthanize her in a humane fashion. But Kaiser, that's the dog's name, regained her health, and the two were reunited. An employee at the veterinarian's office shared the note that was left with the dog.
He's such a part of my being. I'll once again be alone in my life. I love you, Kaiser. Thank you for caring. Sincerely, Kaiser's soulmate. I mean, after you're in this business for so long, you learn to look the other way because we have to euthanize animals. This one I couldn't euthanize.
when you leave your house in the morning to go to work, if you have a pet at home, and you don't see him until you come back. Well, that's one lifestyle. You develop a rapport. I spent 11 years in a motorhome living on the streets here 24/7 with him.
Well, Mikolasco found out Kaiser was alive when a columnist wrote about the dog in the local newspaper. Now they're back together, happier than ever before.
Aw,
that's
perfect
right.
warm and fuzzy to take us right to Wolf Blitzer.
Thanks very much. A lovely story indeed. Coming up right at the top of the hour, guys, we have a CNN exclusive. John McCain strongly defending his position and saying Barack Obama is using the race card to benefit his campaign. You're going to hear what John McCain has just told our John King. Also, both Obama and McCain held major events today. You're going to hear what they have to say about the issues in their own words, where they stand on the economy, on the war, on energy and oil. And the Bush administration hoping to equate birth control with abortion, the controversial new policy suggestion, and what it might mean for your health insurance. All that and a lot more coming up right here in the Situation Room. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Wolf. Closing bell and wrap of all the action on Wall Street straight ahead.
Attention Digitech users. Digitech tablets, also known as digoxin tablets, were recently recalled from the market. Digitech has been linked to death in patients. The problem? Double-strength tablets were given to patients in error, causing low blood pressure, a slow heartbeat, and cardiac instability. If your loved one took Digitech tablets and died after taking Digitech tablets, call George Sink Injury Lawyers at 1-800-849-SYNC for a free consultation. Call 1-800-849-SYNC right now.
Hi, welcome to Progressive.com.
Honey, what's all this?
Insurance?
Progressive motorcycle insurance.
Yeah.
RV insurance?
Uh-huh.
Boat insurance. But we don't have any of those things.
Well, actually, I do. We do. We do.
Surprise! Let's bag these up. Saving you money so you can buy more toys. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Friday, Swing Vote is a landslide comedy winner and a non-stop laugh machine. It's Kevin Costner's finest performance since Bull Durham.
It's really something. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Swing Vote. Rated PG-13. Friday.
We are more than 1 million strong, from across America. We've come together despite our differences, determined to solve the climate crisis. If enough of us demand cleaner forms of energy, we can't be ignored. You can't solve the climate crisis alone, but together we can. Take a minute. Go to wecansolveit.org today and make your voice heard.
We've extended our big fat rate even longer. Now until September 15th, get a porky 3.50% APY, 9 times the national savings average. Get your skates on. Open an HSBC Direct Online Savings account today. Brought to you by HSBC, the world's local bank.
Oh, it must be careful. Oh, that's a nice picture.
Come on, Anna.
Okay.
Foreclosure doesn't affect just you. It affects your whole family, too. If you're falling behind on your mortgage, we can help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE because nothing is worse than doing nothing.
Well, the closing bell is about to ring on Wall Street.
So everybody's giving me my cues, Susan and Kira, and all I hear, I pass the goo-goo clusters to the back, all I hear is, stand by, 10 seconds, are all munching back there. Susan, did you see, how'd you like our babies?
I loved that report. I loved all the color, you know, Kira ordering a cocktail, you picking up peanuts and cashews.
Hey,
and,
by the way, I didn't drink that wine. I had to breastfeed. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. It was a fake baby. Sorry about that.
Me too, but...
Would have loved to have seen that, Dawn. That'd be interesting.
I'm sure a lot of people would.
You are nothing if not a responsible mother, Kira.
Thank you, Susan.
Okay, well, the mother of all economic reports came out today, and that was GDP. Showed growth of nearly 2%, double that of the first quarter, but stimulus checks, all those stimulus checks went out in the second quarter, and so economists expected even more. We also got weekly jobless claims that hit a 5-year high. That's a classic. The levels were a classic recessionary flag. And ExxonMobil beat its own record, largest quarterly profit in U.S. history. Oil declined $2.50, and the markets rolled over. Triple-digit gains or triple-digit moves every day this week. Bye, guys.
All right, have a great day, Susan.
Taking out a Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. Wolf?
Thanks very much, guys. Happening now, John McCain's campaign levels a very serious allegation against Barack Obama. They say he's using the race card in this campaign against John McCain. And you're going to hear what the Obama campaign is now saying. We also have exclusive comments from Senator McCain. He just spoke to our own John King. You're going to want to hear this. Also, the senator accused of scheming to hide thousands of dollars worth of gifts wants you to know how he pleads. But as Ted Stevens fights to clear his name, he's also fighting to keep his seat as the longest-serving Republican ever in the U.S. Senate. And what do you think, who do you think can fix the energy crisis the best? You're going to listen to Senators Obama and McCain in their own words, and then you'll have a chance to decide. I'm Wolf Blitzer. You're in the Situation Room. Right now, John McCain's campaign is accusing Barack Obama of a politically poisonous act, playing the race card. Stems from something Senator Obama said yesterday in Missouri. He said he represents change from reckless Republican policies and that McCain wants to continue those policies. But then Senator Obama also said this.
So what they're saying is, well, we know we're not very good, but you can't risk electing Obama. You know, he's new, doesn't look like the other presidents on the currency. He, you know, he's got a funny name. Yeah. I mean, that's basically the argument. He's too risky.
The McCain campaign now pouncing. The campaign manager, Rick Davis, calling that comment from Senator Obama shameful, adding, and I'm quoting now, Barack Obama has played the race card, and he played it from the bottom of the deck. Let's bring in Dana Bash. She's covering the McCain campaign, and Suzanne Malveaux. She's covering the Obama campaign for us. Dana, I know that John McCain just spoke to our own John King, and they had an exchange on this sensitive issue.
That's right. It's interesting. I was told this morning that John McCain was going to come out and talk to the entire press corps. He didn't do that. But as you said, John King did get an exclusive attempt at speaking to him, and here's what happened.
Your campaign manager says he's playing a race card by saying that you're trying to scare people, make them think this guy doesn't look like past presidents. Is that a fair criticism for Rick Davis to say the Obama campaign is playing the race card?
It is. I'm sorry to say that it is. It's legitimate. And there's no place in this campaign for that. There's no place for it, and we shouldn't be doing it.
They say that's not the case.
Okay, John.
Okay. So,
I let the American people judge.
Now, Wolf, he's saying, I'll let the American people judge, but the reality is John McCain's campaign was extremely aggressive, first of all, about getting the statement out this morning that they think that Barack Obama is playing the race card, but also calling those of us who cover John McCain and trying to explain why they're doing this. And they say that Barack Obama, not once like we played earlier, but 3 times yesterday, said that John McCain and Republicans were trying to scare people about Obama and saying that he's risky because he looks different than other presidents on dollar bills. Steve Schmidt, who's John McCain's senior advisor, he told me that that is a smear and a disgusting accusation about McCain. That's why they felt politically they wanted to push this.
Very strong words. So how's the Obama campaign, Suzanne, reacting?
Well, the Obama campaign believes that this is a winning issue. They've actually launched a website. They're going back and forth. But Bill Burton, the spokesperson, early today releasing a statement saying this is a race about big challenges, a slumping economy, a broken foreign policy, an energy crisis for everyone but the oil companies. And he goes on to say Barack Obama in no way believes that the McCain campaign is using race as an issue, but he does believe that they're using the same old low road politics to distract voters from the real issue issues in this campaign. Those are the issues he'll continue to talk about. I just got off a conference call with the campaign manager, David Plouffe, and other reporters, and essentially they're saying, look, we're going to hit back. We're going to hit back hard. They believe that they're aggressive tactics. They are launching this website. It's called lowroadexpress.com, and they essentially say that for every kind of accusation or misinformation from the McCain campaign, they are going to answer in kind.
Because it doesn't get more poisonous or explosive than to inject this whole issue of race, especially when you have, obviously, the first African-American on a major ticket. So what's the strategy behind the McCain campaign right now?
Well, this is part of a broader strategy that we've seen over the last couple of weeks, Wolf, as you know, to be much, much more aggressive in going after Barack Obama, but not just that, in talking about things that they think will benefit them politically. And what I'm told by the McCain campaign is that the reality is they know that Barack Obama has made these statements before, even going back to the Democratic primary, but they are hearing some of the things like what Suzanne was saying, some of the suggestions like what you just made, that perhaps by going after them and by actually talking about this in such an explosive way, that in fact the McCain campaign, they're the ones injecting race into this. I asked again Steve Schmidt about that. He said, we didn't inject it. He injected it by saying the things he did yesterday.
Because they also make the point, Suzanne, the McCain people, that, you know what, the Obama campaign used this race card, they allege, against the Clintons, especially Bill Clinton. They made it sound during the primaries that Bill Clinton was a racist, using the racial issue to try to undermine Senator Obama. And they say, you know what, we're not going to fall into that trap. If they even imply in the most modest way that Senator McCain is using race as an issue, they're going to pounce with all their power.
And also, too, the larger issue is really what they call character assassination, that it's not just about race, but they can point to, say, the Britney Spears, the Paris Hilton, that advertisement, that they actually know that the Republicans have come out and criticized that ad publicly, saying that this is not the kind of candidate, the McCain, that we knew. So they believe that they have something that is beyond race, but really looking at how they've mischaracterized Barack Obama, basically on a host of different issues.
Right, the campaigns, this presidential campaign, taking a significant turn today. We're going to have much more on this story, guys, coming up. There's another major story we're following right now, a scandal-ridden U.S. senator walking into a federal court to defend himself. Republican Ted Stevens could face years in prison if convicted of lying about accepting gifts. But today he faced the judge and listened as his lawyer entered his plea. Our justice correspondent Kelly Arena is outside the courthouse where Stevens appeared today. Kelly, update our viewers on what happened.
Well, Wolf, as expected, the senator pleaded not guilty today. Actually, his lawyer did the talking for him. Stevens barely uttered a word in that courtroom. His lawyer, Brendan Sullivan, basically asked for two things. The first is a speedy trial. He argues that he wants to clear his client's name before the general election in November. He also argues that the case is not a very complex one and so shouldn't take that much time. The judge did set a tentative date for September 24th for that trial, Wolf, and the prosecution says they expect it to last just about 3 weeks. Stevens' team is also asking for a change of venue. They say that this trial should be held in Alaska. Why? Because they say 90% of the witnesses that are going to be called are from Alaska, that the events that were outlined in the indictment took place in Alaska, and so the trial should be held in Alaska. Now, legal experts say it's also a bit of some maneuvering here because it is expected that any jury in Alaska would be much more friendlier to the senator than a jury here in Washington, D.C. A trial hearing date was set for that motion as well, and that will be on August 19th. Now, as for a plea deal, Wolf, we've heard a lot about that. Prosecution said that there were no offers on the table at this time, but legal experts are certainly not ruling one out.
If the government is able to admit into evidence all the evidence referred to in the indictment, that Senator Stevens' lawyer should take a good hard look at the possibility of a resolution with the government shy of going to trial.
Now, there were no special restrictions placed on the senator. He did have to surrender his passport, but other than that, Wolf, it's business as usual for him.
All right, Kelly, thanks very much for that update. Hasn't happened in a long time. A U.S. senator formally indicted. He's 84 years old, and he could face prison time as well. Let's check in with Jack Cafferty today. He's got the Cafferty file. Jack.
Remember when John McCain talked about how he wasn't going to run a negative campaign, how he wanted to focus on the issues, not get down in the political mud? I remember that. I guess you can chalk it up to something else that McCain has changed his mind about. Now he has apparently decided that going negative is the way to win the White House. You don't need to look much farther than McCain's ads, which have become increasingly negative, calling Barack Obama a celebrity, comparing him to Britney Spears and Paris Hilton, or the ad that shows Obama playing basketball instead of meeting with the troops. One study points out that 1/3 of John McCain's ads refer to Obama negatively. On the other side of that coin, 90% of Obama's ads don't even mention John McCain. These negative ads feed the perception of McCain as an angry candidate. Even some Republicans don't think the strategy is such a good idea. Former top McCain strategist John Weaver called that celebrity ad, Britney Spears, Paris Hilton, childish, tomfoolery. Those were his words. Other Republicans have characterized it as unprofessional, absurd, and juvenile. An editorial in the St. Petersburg Times says of McCain, quote, "The self-described happy warrior from 2000 has turned sour, and the candor and straight talk that once made him such an attractive candidate are rapidly disappearing," unquote. Meanwhile, McCain's flip-flop on the issue of offshore drilling has netted him some big bucks from the big oil companies. A nonpartisan campaign finance watchdog group says that after McCain announced that he was changing his position and he was now going to support offshore drilling, the big oil companies opened their wallets. Campaign Money Watch found that in Texas alone, oil-related donors gave $1.2 million to McCain's Victory 08 fund in June, 73% of the money coming in after he reversed his position on offshore drilling. You think that's a coincidence? Here's the question. Is going negative against Barack Obama a winning strategy for John McCain? Go to CNN.com/Cafferty File. Post a comment on my blog. Wolf.
Jack, thank you. Barack Obama talks about some struggling homeowners today being victims to predatory lenders. What would he do to stop that? You're going to hear him explain in his own words. That's coming up. And a potential John McCain running mate is standing by live. Rob Portman helped President Bush with economic and trade policy in the White House. I'll ask about his vice presidential prospects, if he thinks increasingly negative Obama attacks are fair game. And a fresh poll gauges how happy you are with the country's direction. Shows just how sour your mood is right now. Stand by. You're in the situation.
In a changing world, who do you want by your side? A financial advisor who knows you and understands you. That's the commitment we call You and Us. UBS.
I love my kids, and I want to give them a great future. That's why I'm proud to be a part of Valero, giving America the energy it needs. We believe in excellence, in safety and caring for the environment, as well as making cleaner burning fuels. And we're expanding our refinery in St. Charles, Louisiana, to provide even more fuel for future generations. It'll help people get to work and play wherever they need to go. At Valero, we're providing the energy to keep America moving.
Renewin, the only intensive release bilayer tablet for joint care and energy. Layer 1 releases a powerful combination of ingredients to improve joint comfort and joint mobility. Layer 2 releases fast to help boost your energy. Renewin improves joint health and helps you stay active.
Pakistan, a country built on the spirit of change. Inspired by the power of human imagination, we strive to embrace new ideas and creativity. We are ready to do business. We believe in seeing things differently. We believe in the future. We are the future.
Hertz introduces a faster way to rent a car. Our new online check-in gets you to your car in 10 minutes or less, guaranteed. Or get $50 towards your rental. And Hertz now offers pump prices on gas, so you'll never have to stop at the gas station on the way back to fill up. If it feels like you're moving faster than the rest of the world, you are.
Today, CNN is launching a fresh effort to help you get to know the presidential candidates and where they stand on the most important issues. Each hour, we're going to bringing you more of what they're saying on the campaign trail to help you better decide. Today, Senator Barack Obama was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and he talked about the struggling real estate market and helping struggling homeowners.
Immediately, we have to shore up the housing market, not only for the families who are losing their homes every single day, but also for the overall health of the financial system and the economy. I was glad to see that a housing proposal that I had been supporting for quite some time finally moved through and the president signed it. It is going to help only, though, about 10 to 20% of the people who are at risk of foreclosure. So more is going to need to be done. Also to help states with foreclosure prevention programs, to continue to provide counseling to people whose homes are at risk. But if we can stabilize the housing market, particularly by helping borrowers and lenders get together and negotiate so that the borrower can stay in their home, pay their mortgage, share in the profits if at some point the housing market bounces back up. If we can do more of that, then at least there's kind of a floor, and hopefully the banks and the credit institutions will start feeling a little more confident again about lending, not only to homeowners but also to businesses. So that's step number one. Step number two is we've got to redesign our financial regulation. I mean, this is an example of what happens when special interests dominate Washington. I had been talking about cracking down on predatory lending and mortgages for a couple of years now. But every effort was stymied and blocked. So you had nobody watching, overseeing the financial markets. And the truth of the matter is that so much of our financial system is now outside of the traditional FDIC insured banks that they pose a huge danger because they're not subject to the same regulations, the same capital requirements, and so forth. So we've got to think about how we redesign that system. That's number two. Number three, we've got to get some immediate relief to families. We already had one stimulus package. That, I think, helped soften some of the blow with these rising gas prices and helped to keep the economy from going into a complete tailspin. But I think we need a second round of stimulus. I think we need some more energy rebate checks in the pockets of Americans right now to help them, particularly as we go into the winter when home heating prices are going to be a huge worry for a lot of families. And some of the stimulus should also come in the form of helping people with, in the LIHEAP program, the low-income heating assistance program. I think we could still have more work to do in terms of extending unemployment insurance because a lot of people have been laid off. So an immediate program to provide help to families and also to state and local governments who are really cash-strapped right now. That, I think, is going to be important.
And coming up shortly, you're going to hear what Senator McCain is saying about energy independence in his own words. That's coming up in a few moments. As we've been reporting, Senator Obama's positions are coming under increasingly negative attacks from John McCain and his supporters. Just today, the McCain campaign is accusing Senator Obama of playing the race card. And you heard Senator McCain himself say he agrees with that charge in that interview he had with our own John King. Let's talk a little bit about more of that and some other important subjects. Joining us is Rob Portman. He's in Cincinnati. He's often mentioned as a possible McCain running mate. He's a former congressman from Ohio, and he's helped President Bush with economic and trade policy over these years as well. Congressman, thanks very much for coming in.
Wolf, great being on with you again.
Are you comfortable with the way this campaign has made this turn? All of a sudden, the McCain campaign today and Senator McCain publicly accusing Senator Obama of playing the race card?
Well, I'm comfortable with the fact that it's fair game to talk about Senator Obama's experience and lack of experience, talk about his judgment, and talk about his policies. And that's what that ad does. And it's interesting to me that Senator Obama's response to that ad was to talk about the possibility of somebody raising and playing the race card. So it's too bad it was brought into the campaign. It has no place in this campaign. And I think it is fair game, though, to talk about experience, judgment, and policy issues. That's what a decision's going to be about, after all. I mean, people are going to have to make a decision whether, given where we are in our economy, which is a soft economy, whether we should be raising taxes or not. Given where we are in terms of our critical need to become independent of foreign oil, are we going to do everything we can, which is what Senator John McCain wants to do, or are we going to say no to a lot of constructive proposals to make us independent? So those are fair game.
So just to be precise, and then I want to move on, when Barack Obama mentioned yesterday that he looks different than other presidents who are on U.S. currency, you interpreted that, what, as an attack on Senator McCain?
Well, that's not what he said, Wolf. What he said was that the McCain campaign is telling you that. And that is inappropriate. And it would be inappropriate on either side, by the way. The race card should not be played by either side. You know John McCain pretty well. I know him pretty well. It's not something he's ever going to be comfortable raising. This campaign will not go there on the McCain side. And I think what they've said today is, let's not go there on either side. The response by Senator Obama was very directly, a criticism of Senator McCain's campaign, saying that they were saying that.
All right, let's talk a little bit about economic policies. We like to call it the economy being issue number one in this campaign. About 500,000 jobs have been lost in the country since January 1st. The most recent numbers, not as bad as they could have been because of the economic stimulus package, injected some funds into the overall U.S. economy. But, if you look at all the numbers out there, people are blaming President Bush for this really serious economic downturn. It's going to be very hard for Republicans, including Senator McCain, to say, you know what, they're different and they've got a different strategy than what we've seen during the past almost 8 years.
Well, two things, Wolf. First, Senator McCain does have a different strategy. He has a different strategy on taxes. As you know, he's calling for immediate tax relief for families. I heard what Senator Obama said a moment ago about helping families by doubling the exemption for people that have kids. That gives them more money in their pockets to another $3,500. He's also talking about allowing businesses, particularly small businesses, to immediately expense. That's going to be a great shot in the arm for small business. And he's talking about lowering the corporate rate. Why? Because we now have the second highest corporate rate of any developed country in the world, and we're losing headquarters and jobs. So he has some different proposals.
But can
certainly
the
on
country
energy,
afford
he has
all
different
that,
proposals.
given the $500 billion deficit that we now see projected for the coming fiscal year?
You know, having lived through some ups and downs on the deficit when I was in Congress, particularly, as you know, the growth of the economy is the single most important factor. The deficit went up this year for two reasons. One is the stimulus checks you talked about earlier, but also because our economy is soft and because, therefore, revenues are not coming in as they should be. So if you focus tax relief on pro-growth, pro-jobs tax relief, which is where Senator McCain is, and these are changes, frankly, from where Senator Bush is, you're going to help grow that economy and help deal with the deficit as well. So those are differences. Second is, let's look at the economy. I mean, housing prices, I agree with what Senator Obama just said in the tape you showed of him at a recent town meeting. The housing market has been a major factor here. You saw the second quarter results came out today. You just mentioned those, and they were better than expected. But still, housing is a drag. And second is oil prices and food prices. And here again, the question is, what are you going to do about it? Not, are you going to be the same or different? It's what are you going to do about it? And what Senator McCain is saying is, let's do it all. Yes, more conservation. Senator Obama talked about putting more air in your tires. Great, let's do that. We should do everything we can on conservation. That's not going to be enough. We also need to do more on alternative energy. And as you know, Senator McCain's been a leader on that. But where Senator Obama won't go is both using nuclear power and also using coal, and of course exploring it, particularly offshore, where there's a lot of reserves. So these are big differences, and I think that's all fair game.
We're out of time, but very quickly, have they asked you for documents as part of the vice presidential vetting process?
No, they haven't. And you and I have talked about this before, but I think there's probably a long list rather than a short list, and he's got a lot of great choices, and I'm sure he'll make a good one.
Well, they still have time to ask you for those documents, Congressman. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks, Wolf. Good to be on with you.
Appreciate it. No immunity. A federal judge says two top White House advisors can be forced to testify under subpoena. Congress wants to know, well, what they know about the firing of those 9 U.S. attorneys and a deadly plane crash in southern Minnesota. It happened after bad weather moved in. Now the investigation gets started. Lots of news happening right here in The Situation.
Doing something with a cigarette, it can be hard doing it without one. But if you can relearn how to start your day without cigarettes, then you can relearn to do anything without cigarettes. Introducing X, a new way to think about quitting.
It's vital that we develop all sources of energy to fuel the future growth of the world economy and this growing population. It's going to be oil and gas, coal, nuclear, wind, and solar. We're going to need them all.
We've extended our big fat rate even longer. Now until September 15th, get a porky 3.50% APY, 9 times the national savings average. Get your skates on. Open an HSBC Direct Online Savings account today. Brought to you by HSBC, the world's local bank.
In February 2009, TV stations will broadcast exclusively in digital. Every TV that's hooked up to cable will still work just fine. If you get TV through an antenna, you can still keep your sets working. Just visit dtv2009.gov to apply for government coupons for converter boxes. Or call 888-DTV-2009 for information.
Nominations for CNN Heroes close August 1st. Who inspires you? Tell us about your hero at cnn.com/heroes. CNN Heroes, the power to change the...
If you've got one of these, you probably use these to keep them healthy. But why? When you can get these. They're exactly the same brand name medications, but these cost a lot less because they're from 1-800-PET-MEDS. With 1-800-PET-MEDS, you save a trip to the vet too, because they're delivered free, right to your door, with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Millions of pet owners trust 1-800-PET-MEDS for fast service, free shipping, and big savings. Call now or order online from 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy.
Comcastic Labs high-speed internet field test. Introduction of Power Boost. We never stop making fast faster. Comcast high-speed internet with Power Boost.
Carol Costello is monitoring some other important stories incoming to the Situation Room right now. Carol, what's going on?
Well, Wolf, 8 people were killed when a small plane crashed at an airport outside of Minneapolis during thunderstorms. Police say the victims were 6 passengers and 2 crew members. The group of business people was traveling from New Jersey. A study finds the number of illegal immigrants in the United States fell by 1.3 million since Congress failed to pass immigration reform last summer. That's an 11% decline from August 2007's estimated high of 12.5 million. The Center for Immigration Studies says it found strong evidence stepped-up enforcement was behind the decline, but others say it has more to do with the slowing economy. Couch potatoes, listen up. You might be able to get a workout in a pill one day. Scientists found that mice who took an experimental drug for 4 weeks burned more calories and had less fat than untreated mice. It's not yet known how the results would translate to people, but researchers at the Salk Institute for Biological Studies say they hope their drug will one day help treat obesity and diabetes. Back to you, Wolf.
Thanks, Carol, very much. To our viewers, you're in the Situation Room happening now. They put their lives on the line for their country, but they're still vulnerable to a heinous crime, women, and sexual assault in the U.S. military. FEMA says it made some mistakes. The agency talking today about all that household stuff that the Katrina victims really needed but never got. Could be our CNN investigation that got them talking about what's going on. They're candidates, not superheroes, but these would-be presidents are now showing up in comic books. Their search for voters in the funny pages. We'll update you on what's going on. I'm Wolf Blitzer. You're in the Situation Room. Those insane prices at the pump, what gives? Whose fault is it? Who are giving some of the answers, and who should we blame? Suzanne Malveaux is back. She's got some of her own answers. What do we know, Suzanne?
Well, Wolf, I've been talking to industry experts, and they believe that both of these candidates are not talking about the most important problems, taking those on, the causes behind the energy crisis. So far, no one has provided a solution.
Congress is taking off for a 5-week vacation after failing to come up with an energy solution to sky-high gas prices. Seems like everyone's got someone else to blame.
Democrat leaders confirmed yesterday that they'd rather take 5 weeks off than to allow a real vote on more American-made energy.
The majority of the congressional Republicans have voted no on renewable energy.
Leaders ought to be giving these members a vote.
chance to say yes or no as to whether or not we ought to be finding more domestic oil.
Voters are looking for leadership on how to get out of this mess, making energy policy a big campaign issue.
We need to bring down gas prices. But first of all, we've got to provide relief to families.
We need nuclear power. We need clean coal technology.
One of the main differences between the candidates' plans, whether to allow new domestic drilling for oil. McCain says yes, Obama says no. But CNN's Miles O'Brien, who covers the industry, calls the issue a red herring.
The offshore oil drilling thing, you got to remember that this really has nothing to do with gas prices today. It's become really a political issue because the technicalities of this, it would take 7 to 10 years to get any of that oil out of the ground.
Obama's pledging to take on the big oil companies making record profits, like ExxonMobil. McCain is pledging to use government incentives and lower tax rates for businesses to invest in renewable energy. But O'Brien says neither candidate is focusing on the most pressing problem.
It's always easy to go after big corporations. They are easy villains. But the fact is, we are importing an awful lot of oil from the Middle East, 4 times the amount of oil we imported back in the first gas crises of the 1970s.
In fact, energy experts say the biggest failure in leadership comes from the candidates' refusal to take on voters' behavior.
Political candidates are loath to ask Americans to conserve. The candidates today still have that same notion that asking Americans to conserve is political death.
Well, in fact, Americans are 4% of the world's population, but we use 25% of the planet's energy. And politicians remember how President Jimmy Carter paid politically for asking Americans to conserve. But we do see some political courage coming from Obama, talking about putting air in your tires. We'll see if either one of these candidates have a national plan asking us to conserve.
Because that's what the country wants. They want to know what's going on.
Right.
Suzanne, thanks very much. As we said only a few moments ago, today CNN is launching a new effort to try to help you get to know the 2 presidential candidates and where they stand on the most important issues. Each hour, we're going to be bringing you more of what they're saying on the campaign trail to help you better decide. We heard just a little while ago from Senator Obama, now Senator McCain on the nation's energy crisis.
Senator Obama says that he wants energy independence, but he's opposed to new drilling at home. He's opposed to nuclear power. He's opposed to an innovation prize for electric cars. My friends, we must begin immediately in drilling offshore so we can get some of the oil that's off our own coast. We have to begin that drilling, and Senator Obama opposes it. He said that the high cost of gasoline doesn't bother him, only that it rose too quickly. Yesterday, he suggested we put air in our tires to save on gas. My friends, let's do that. But do you think that's enough to break our dependence on Middle Eastern oil? I don't think so. So I believe that every energy source needs to be part of the solution. We need to develop new alternative energies like wind, solar, tide, biofuels. But we also need to develop more Existing energies like nuclear power and clean coal. Nuclear power is safe. Clean coal technology is vital. My friends, nuclear power is safe. There are some veterans here in this room who served on ships that had nuclear power plants. We sailed them around the world for more than 60 years, and we've never had an accident. And I can tell you that the French, we always want to imitate the French, right? 80% of their electricity is generated by nuclear power. And in case you missed it, we now have a pro-American president of France, which shows if you live long enough, anything can happen in the world and America. But most importantly, and you know this, but it's the compelling argument. We can't keep sending $700 billion a year to foreign countries that don't like us. And some of that money ends up in the hands of terrorist organizations. It's got to stop, and we will stop it, and we've got to stop it.
Senator McCain speaking earlier in Wisconsin. In the next hour, we'll have more of what they're saying, the two presidential candidates, in their own words. Stand by for that. So is our country on the right track or the wrong track? What Americans think about the direction of the U.S. and who they think might be able to fix it. We have some brand new CNN poll numbers coming up. Bill Schneider with that. Plus, the courts are backing Congress, but will White House aides have to testify? There's a battle. And you'll know what we know right here in The Situation.
At eHarmony, we match you with other singles based on compatibility. And the best part is, you can review your matches absolutely free. Aren't you curious to see who you'd be matched with? Log on and review your matches for free. eHarmony.com.
Fish oil is not just a sea of sameness. GNC's triple strength formula is purified 5 times. It's great for your heart, brain, joints, eyes, and skin. It's so superior, we call it Phenomen-Oil. GNC, your source for the world's best fish oils. GNC, live well.
There's never been a better time to do something completely sensible with your money. Hurry in to Hyundai's Dollars and Cents sales event and get up to $2,000 cash back on Hyundai's fuel-efficient sedans with up to 33 miles per gallon, like the 2009 Sonata, for thousands less than the Toyota Camry or Honda Accord. Hyundai's Dollars and Cents sales event. So many ways to save some money on a new car. So little time to save. Right now, get a Hyundai sedan for up to $2,000 cash back.
Businesses are continually challenged by the winds of change. Our job is to anticipate and prepare for them, to lead a workforce in transition, to recruit and keep top talent ahead of the curve, to manage healthcare costs, to find strategic solutions that help you succeed in these challenging economic times. Human resource professionals meeting the challenges of a changing world.
Saturday and Sunday night, Christian Amanpour, inside the world of Buddhism. In the fight for freedom and democracy, their weapon is peace. They are Buddha's warriors. CNN Saturday and Sunday night, 8 Eastern.
The next leaders of our country are born here. The convention's on CNN. Starting August 25th, the Democrats. Starting September 1st, the Republicans. CNN and CNN.com have every history-making moment.
CNN equals politics.
Closed captioning hours provided by Lennox. Innovation never felt so good. Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
A near record sounds like something good, right? But we're talking about a new low. Not very good. And it reflects the way you feel about how things are going in the country right now. You're not very happy. Our senior political analyst, Bill Schneider, is watching all the numbers for us. So what do these new poll numbers tell us about the mood of the country right now, Bill, going into this election?
One word, bad.
How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
That's not just a greeting from a Budweiser commercial. It's also a question that polls have been asking for 35 years. How well are things going in the country today? The answer right now, yikes. Fewer than a quarter of Americans believe things are going well. The lowest number since the spring of 1980, when the country faced recession, rising energy prices, and a hostage crisis. Turns out that question is a pretty good political indicator. In the fall of 1980, 32% said things were going well. President Carter lost. 1992, 35% said things were good. The first President Bush went down. Good times? That would be 1984, when it was Morning in America. 74% thought times were good. Ronald Reagan reelected. Times stayed good through 1988, when Reagan's vice president won. Nearly 70% thought things were good in 1996, when Bill Clinton won a second term. With only 24% of Americans happy right now, Barack Obama is running hard on the change issue.
We have to change course, and we're going to have to take some immediate action.
But John McCain asks, what sort of change?
I believe that in a troubled economy, when folks are struggling to afford the necessities of life, higher taxes are the last thing we need.
Why is the election closer than it should be with so many unhappy voters? Take a look at those unhappy voters. They really don't like President Bush, and they really do like Senator Obama. And Senator McCain, they kind of like him too. But not as much as Obama, which is why Obama's leading. But it's not a slam dunk. Wolf?
And in some of those battleground states right now, it shows it's neck and neck. We're going to have those numbers coming up. Thanks, Bill, very much. In a battle of the branches, a blow to the Bush administration. And we're going to tell you what a federal court has just decided in a raging fight between the White House and the Congress. And now that John McCain's campaign has accused Barack Obama of playing the race card, how should the candidates handle this? We'll have our assessment in our strategy session that's coming up. And you might think it's unimaginable, but doctors performing brain surgery on patients, they say they can do it while the patients are awake. Our own neurosurgeon, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, explains why that might be a very good option. Stick around. You're in the Situation Room.
Who's that? Oh yeah, that's me before I lost 41 pounds on Nutrisystem. See ya.
With the all-new Nutrisystem Advanced program, you can eat great and lose weight on our best weight loss program ever.
I know I'm not your average gal. I love sports. Football. How many girls could do that?
The all-new program that lets you eat carbs, is heart healthy, and even helps fight hunger.
I got this body eating pizza, burgers, even chocolate.
Through this special offer, you can get an extra 3 weeks of meals free. For about $10 a day, you'll enjoy 4 weeks of perfectly portioned meals delivered right to your door. And your shipping is free.
But I love Nutrisystem because it's easy and it works. It's as simple as that.
See how Nutrisystem can change your body. And you can get a full 3 weeks of food absolutely free.
Get Nutrisystem and score.
Call now, 877-532-SIZE, and find out how you can get 3 weeks absolutely free.
John McCain. He's been in Washington for 26 years, and as gas prices soared and dependence on oil exploded, McCain was voting against alternative energy, against higher mileage standards. Barack Obama. He'll make energy independence an urgent national priority, raise mileage standards, fast-track technology for alternative fuels, a $1,000 tax cut to help families as we break the grip of foreign oil, a real plan and new energy.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Recognize me? I know your husband. You know my wife. We've had coffee together. I've given your child a ride home from the game. Hey, I'm someone he trusts. And more importantly, that you trust. It's me, Coach Sanders. And what you don't see are the really fun games I make your kid play after practice.
90% of all sexually abused children are abused by someone they know. Help make it disappear. Go to darknesstolight.org and get the tools you need to protect our children.
In February 2009, TV stations will broadcast exclusively in digital. Every TV that's hooked up to cable will still work just fine. If you get TV through an antenna, you can still keep your sets working. Just call 888-DTV-2009 to learn about a government coupon program for converter boxes. Or visit dtvtransition.org.
Larry King Tonight. Former cult members and their shocking claims. What they say they were forced to do in the name of religion. Former members of the Family International on Larry King Live. CNN Tonight, 9 Eastern.
Saturday and Sunday night, Christian Amanpour. Inside the world of Buddhism. In the fight for freedom and democracy. Their weapon is peace. They are Buddha's warriors. CNN Saturday and Sunday night, 8 Eastern.
It's a battle of the two branches of government, the executive branch and the congressional, the legislative branch. But right now it's a blow to the Bush administration. Congress can force two White House aides to testify under subpoena. That ruling coming in from a U.S. District Court today, a rejection of the Bush administration's claims of immunity. This involves the former White House counsel Harriet Miers and the current White House Chief of Staff Josh Bolten. The House Judiciary Committee has been trying to force Myers to testify before Congress about the firing of those 9 U.S. attorneys back in 2006. And House Democrats are trying to force Bolton to hand over White House documents. Let's go to our White House correspondent, Elaine Quijano. She's watching this story for us. What are they saying at the White House about this decision, Elaine?
Well, Wolf, as you might expect, White House Press Secretary Dana Perino says the administration certainly does not agree with this decision. Officials right now at the Justice Department are reviewing it. Still no word on whether the administration will actually appeal this ruling. But as you know, Wolf, the Bush administration had argued that in order for a president to get candid, unvarnished advice from those around him, those people had to be legally protected from having to come up before Congress and testify. Well, today, this district court ruling says that those aides actually do have to show up before Congress. They simply can't ignore congressional subpoenas. However, when they do come, those aides can still claim executive privilege. They just have to come before Congress in order to do it. Now, if this is appealed, though, of course, all of this could be moot. This is a matter of perhaps running out the clock because those subpoenas expire, Wolf, once this Congress leaves office. So, again, this is an issue here where the clock certainly is a factor.
I know you'll be on top of it for us, Elaine. Thank you. So let's move on and talk a little bit about the strategy right now. What's going on with the latest discussion, the latest talk of the race card all of a sudden being injected in this presidential campaign? Our strategy session coming up. And did Senator Obama cross the line, or is the McCain campaign trying to push him? Did it cross the line? And attention, Florida, Ohio, and Pennsylvania voters plan on getting more visits from the presidential candidates. There's a new batch of polls that shows this race is very tight.
Brought her 2 little babies who had severe.
While America's oil and natural gas industry earns less than many others, we've reinvested more than $1 trillion since 1996. Part of an ongoing commitment using advanced technology to find new sources of energy while protecting our environment. We'll need 39% more oil and natural gas by 2030, and we're working to ensure reliable supplies of these vital resources to keep America going strong. Log on to learn more from the people who bring you oil and natural gas.
What's the best benefit in the car business? Employee pricing. Well, for a limited time, you can buy F-Series trucks for the same price Ford employees can and keep all the factory rebates. F-150 regular cabs below $14,000. Super cabs under $19,000. Even Super Cruise less than $22,000. Plus, you can get an extra $3,000 owner loyalty rebate. So see us today at Landmark Ford in Tigard, or just off 55 at the Haines Street exit. Get more, spend less.
Taste the best right here at home. Carlton's Walk in the Park, August 2nd and 3rd, a benefit for local charities. It's first-class artists, restaurants, and winemakers together in the cool shade of a wine country oak grove. Plus performances from top Northwest musicians, including Joni Harms, Pan Gypsies, Aaron Meyer, and the March 4th Marching Band. Taste the best at Carlton's Walk in the Park, online at carltonswalkinthepark.com.
I may be in my pajamas right now, but I'm not going to bed. I'm going to college online to get a degree. Education Connection will connect you to the right online college for free. And log on now, and Education Connection will send you their free success kit stuffed with information on online schools, scholarships, even degrees that take the least amount of time. This is a $100 value, and it's yours, free.
Log on now to 55edconnect.com. That's 55edconnect.com.
Comcast is pleased to present West Lynn's popular summer concert series, Music in the Park. The first of 6 free concerts starts on Thursday, July 24th, 6:30 p.m. at beautiful Tanner Creek Park. Bring a lawn chair, spread your blanket on the grass, picnic with your family, and enjoy the food offered by local vendors while dancing to top local bands. Don't miss the fun-filled family event at Tanner Creek Park this summer in West Lynn.
Buddha's Warriors, all new, CNN Saturday and Sunday night, 8 Eastern.
Testing. Check. Is Hertz there yet? Oh, here he comes, here he comes. Hey, Hertz. They came and got me. We came and got you. They came and got him. So, you'll bill my insurance? We'll bill your insurance.
They'll bill his insurance.
You're gonna nail me
with the replacement rates, right?
No, we even offer one-way rentals.
Who do they think they are? Yeah, who do you think you are?
Hertz. And you are?
Well, I'm not a spy.
Hertz Local Edition. It's another way Hertz puts you in the driver's seat.
Somebody's playing the race card out there. Is that what's going on right now in this presidential race? John McCain's campaign says yes, and it says Barack Obama is the one doing it. Let's discuss in our strategy session. Joining us, our CNN contributor, the Democratic strategist, Donna Brazil. Also joining us, Tara Wall, the deputy editorial page editor of The Washington Times. Does McCain, Tara, have a point in saying that Barack Obama has ejected the race card?
Absolutely. I think he does make a point here that Barack Obama overstepped it a bit when he included John McCain and quite frankly, the Bush administration, President Bush, inferring that they were would play the race card against Barack Obama. He has not done such. McCain has not. The campaign has not. And I believe Obama's camp has backtracked that a little bit because there are certainly a lot out there on the blogs. The liberal bloggers are teeing this up, if you will, and calling McCain's most recent ad racist. And I think that's what Obama is referring to. He overstretched it when he included Senator McCain in that. And that's somewhere I don't think that he needs to go or he should go.
What do you think, Donna?
Well, I can understand the sensitivity of the McCain campaign, given the fact that they've had to condemn ads from various Republican state parties over the past few months in Tennessee and Washington State and North Carolina, because it is factually correct that the Republicans have used race often in political campaigns as a wedge issue. On this particular case, however, whether it's the ad featuring two white female blonde celebrities, I don't think that is as much race as it is culture. Look, these are dangerous types of advertisement. If they want to make the point that Senator Obama is a celebrity, why not use Denzel Washington, who, by the way, is handsome? But rather, they know what they're doing. This is a very thin line. Perhaps this is a way to reignite the cultural wars and not play the race card.
But did Senator Obama go too far in linking Senator McCain's campaign to this suggestion that, you know what, he looks different than other presidents on U.S. currency? No. Let's let Donna respond.
Senator Obama has made that point often.
He never made a point in connection with Senator McCain.
Perhaps he's referring to some of the right-wing blogs and the noise machines. I would not have. Senator McCain has clearly not stated that. Senator McCain has said many misleading and inaccurate things about Senator Obama. He's never said that Senator Obama will not look like the people on those various dollar bills. But the point, Wolf, that we should make and not get into the tit and tap between these campaigns is that race has no place in American politics. Ken Melman apologized for it back in 2005. The Obama campaign and Senator Obama himself gave an eloquent speech earlier this year that said that we should not use race. So I don't think I think we need to go beyond it and talk about the issues. We have better issues to contrast in the McCain campaign.
Tara, go ahead.
Can use people other than two white females.
And this is why, listen, this is why Barack Obama is better than this, and he should not have equated the fact that John McCain was calling into question whether people were voting for him out of popularity along the same lines as being racist. I mean, look, if you're going to, it's like you can't criticize him without, he was suggesting that you can't criticize him without also saying that he's a racist. And surely that's not what Barack Obama means. And I think that's disingenuous for someone who has been unifying the races, who has said we are one America. He did overstep it. And again, that's why his campaign had to pull back and rephrase what he said. Because but that's an unfair characterization of John McCain.
Tara, you are very familiar. Tara, you are very familiar with the proxies that are often used when race is not the actual subject, and whether it's saying that he's inexperienced, he's risky. Is that a proxy for race? When they raise
that's a legitimate question to raise, Donna.
Scurrilous charges and baseless attacks. Why not fight about the issues? Look, Senator McCain and Senator Obama disagree on many issues: the economy, the war in Iraq, health care. Focus on those issues, but these baseless, mean attacks have no place in American
I believe he's doing that, Donna, and I think that, it is legitimate to question whether someone uses the judgment, has the experience as as a 3-year senator, those are legitimate questions, Donna, that do not play on race. They are questions that can be asked and answered, and Obama should freely and has answered those questions. It is wholly legitimate.
And what do you think about the ad using?
All right, guys.
And Tara, what was the purpose of the ad with Paris Hilton and Britney Spears when he could have used Denzel Washington or Sidney Poitier, anyone else?
Come on, Donna, that's nitpicking. Barack Obama himself scoffed at the ads and made light of them himself. He wasn't too offended.
We got to end it, unfortunately, right there, but we'll continue this conversation. Donna and Tara, thanks very much. Big news from space today, the very first proof that water exists on Mars, and it's pretty exciting. We'll explain what's going on. And uproar over a suggested policy change by the Bush administration that would equate birth control and abortion. How would it impact your health insurance? Stick around. You're in the Situation Room.
CNN's Black in America, an extraordinary series, a tremendous accomplishment. CNN's Black in America is the most watched cable news documentary of the year with nearly 13 million viewers.
This is CNN.
You are one person, but you can move a nation. You can walk with the purpose to end Alzheimer's by joining us for Memory Walk.
You invite 3 people.
And they'll invite 3 people. And before you know it, you have a team.
More than 5 million Americans may not be able to stop the progression of Alzheimer's.
But we can.
Step up.
Move a nation to end Alzheimer's.
Start a team today. Go to alz.org.
Did you hear that?
It's our first night in the new house. Do you want me to check?
Okay.
I saw a guy trying to break in.
What?
The alarm. Scared him off.
Hello.
This is Andy from Brinks Home Security. Are you all right?
My husband saw someone try to break in.
I'm sending help right now.
Thank you.
Call 1-800-341-5324 now to blanket your home with protection from Brinks Home Security and install a personalized system for just $99. Inside, Brinks delivers peace of mind to you and your family with state-of-the-art sensors and detectors engineered to help protect and alert. This includes the Brinks Security Keypad, your link to the Brinks 24-hour award-winning monitoring center that can provide a fast response to both you and the authorities. Call now to get the $99 installation and a second keypad installed free. That's a $135 value. Plus, you could save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-341-5324 now and get the system installed for just $99. Brinks Home Security, dedicated to rapid response and peace of mind 24 hours a day. Call now.
Businesses are continually challenged by the winds of change. Our job is to anticipate and prepare for them, to lead a workforce in transition, to recruit and keep top talent ahead of the curve, to manage healthcare costs, to find strategic solutions that help you succeed in these challenging economic times. Human resource professionals meeting the challenges of a changing world.
One of the biggest challenges for geoscientists is trying to find the oil and gas that's hidden below the surface of the Earth. Lately, our researchers have developed a new technology called R3M. You can't see it and you can't feel it, but the Earth has electromagnetic waves. And if you build the right kinds of listening devices, you can make sense of those waves. So using those tools, we can supply more of the energy that we need with less of an impact on the environment.
Coverage of America Votes 2008 is sponsored by the Society for Human Resource Management, meeting the challenges of a changing world, and by ExxonMobil, taking on the world's toughest energy challenges. Visit the Election Center at cnn.com/election for in-depth information on the candidates.
Check out how close this race is coming in our today political ticker. We have three contests in 3 battleground states. The Quinnipiac University poll shows in Florida, Obama 46, McCain 44. Very tight. In Ohio, 46-44. Very tight. He has a little bit more breathing room in Pennsylvania, 49-42. But Jack Cafferty, this is looking like it could be a very, very competitive race in these battleground states. Everybody remembers Ohio from 4 years ago and Florida from 8 years ago.
Well, yeah, it's also July, so we'll have to wait and see. Question this hour, is going negative against Barack Obama going to be a winning strategy for John McCain? Bob in Chicago writes, McCain's an angry old man with a nasty temper. He has no positives. He has to go negative. It appears there never was a straight talk express That was just a mirage. This is the real John McCain. John in Colorado writes, although negative campaigning's been successful in previous elections, this time around, the attack ads are backfiring on McCain. The fair-minded, moderate McCain, who earned so much respect in his career, has morphed into an old, bitter Eddie Haskell character. He should fire his campaign staff, reverse course, and make every attempt possible to restore his dignity. Jake writes, absolutely, America's full of low-information voters who believe anything they hear. Thinking and being informed is too hard and time-consuming for us Americans. It's so much easier to just vote against someone based on distortions, lies, and negative ads. Dee writes, I think McCain's negativity is what's keeping the polls so close. And anyway, he's not really being all that negative. He's only pointing out the obvious, that Obama is not experienced enough for us to put our country in his hands. Tim writes, if the American people buy into this fear-mongering from the Republican hatchet men yet again, we deserve what we get. Another 4 years of catastrophically bad leadership. And C in Mississippi says, hey, Jack, from one old pessimistic curmudgeon to another, going negative is definitely a winning strategy. Sometimes you have to slap around these young whippersnappers to get your way. Take you, for example. You're a winner in my book, and look what being negative has done for your career. If you didn't see your email here, you can go to my blog at cnn.com/Cafferty file. Look for yours there among hundreds of others. Both.
Lots of incisive comments there. Jack, thanks very much. To our viewers, you're in the Situation Room happening now. As violence drops in Iraq, the U.S. death toll falls to its lowest level of the war. But the U.S. military commander in Iraq says he needs more time to decide when to start removing more troops, even though they're needed on another front. The Bush administration in a new battle over when life actually begins. There's a confidential proposal linking birth control pills to abortion and pitting patients against health care workers. We'll tell you what's going on. And Senator Hillary Clinton is back on the campaign trail, making a very strong pitch for Senator Barack Obama. But why are some of her former supporters jumping ship and joining the John McCain camp? We have a report. I'm Will Flitzer. You're in the Situation Room. July is already over in Iraq, and the U.S. death toll for the month is the lowest yet. A non-combat fatality today makes 10 deaths in July. 4,126 Americans have died since the war began. President Bush today linked the dramatic decline in violence to the recently concluded surge, and that should set the stage for U.S. troops to continue leaving Iraq and perhaps head over to Afghanistan. But the U.S. general in charge of the situation in Iraq seems to be in no rush to continue that drawdown. We're going to find out why. Let's go to our senior Pentagon correspondent, Jamie McIntyre. He's working the story for us. A lot of people are asking if the surge has been so successful and the violence has come down, the Iraqi military is taking charge, why can't more troops immediately leave and go to Afghanistan where they're desperately needed?
Well, Wolf, the upbeat assessment from President Bush certainly sets the stage for a drawdown. But the question is, will they come home or will they go to that other war in Afghanistan?
Now that the last of the surge brigades is gone from Iraq and violence has dropped to the lowest level in 4 years, the question facing America's top commander is how soon and how fast can more U.S. troops leave? But despite the urgent need to shift forces from Iraq to Afghanistan, where casualties are mounting, sources say General David Petraeus is not inclined to speed up his decision on troop cuts promised within the next 45 days.
General Petraeus's timeline is tied strictly to Iraq and has nothing to do with, as far as I know, nothing to do with Afghanistan. Whether he takes the full 45 days or not, I don't know. We'll see.
Despite promising to dispatch reinforcements to Afghanistan sooner rather than later, so far the Pentagon has found only a couple of hundred support troops to send. Numbers Gates concedes are not significant. Before making a recommendation on Iraq force cuts, sources say General Petraeus wants to make sure the current lull in fighting, which produced the lowest monthly death toll of the war, is not a fluke.
General Petraeus and Ambassador Crocker cautioned that the progress is still reversible. They report that there now appears to be a degree of durability to the gains that we have made.
One source of concern, Shia cleric Muqtada al-Sadr, who is offering to support the government of Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki if it refuses to make a deal with the U.S. to allow American troops to stay. Along with the surge, Sadr's ceasefire order has been a major factor in the dramatic drop in violence.
General Petraeus knows that if Muqtada al-Sadr orders his Mahdi army back into the fight, the situation could change overnight. It's one reason that he's reluctant to rush into troop withdrawals on just a few months of relatively good news. Wolf?
Jamie, thanks very much. The Bush administration credits the recently concluded troop surge for turning around the situation in Iraq. But how does the American public feel about all of this? In our brand new CNN Opinion Research Corporation poll, 52% call the surge a success, 41% call it a failure. Asked if the U.S. should set a timetable for withdrawing all its troops from Iraq, 62% said yes, 37% said no. And asked about the war itself, 33% said they favor it, 66% say they oppose it. The Defense Department is under fire right now for not doing enough to prevent sexual assaults in the U.S. military. One member of Congress says a woman in the military service has a greater chance of being raped by one of her fellow soldiers than being killed by enemy fire. CNN's Susan Candiotti is working this story for us. What prompted this congressional hearing, Susan?
Wolf, it's because of these ongoing horrific cases of sexual assault of soldiers overseas and at home, both civilian and military personnel as well, including the case of Maria Lauterbach, who was murdered, you might recall, last year. Her accused killer has yet to be extradited from Mexico. The question is the military taking rape seriously enough?
I want to thank you both for your courage.
Mary Lauterbach has been waiting a long time to tell her story to Congress. Last year, her pregnant Marine daughter Maria was murdered, then buried in the backyard of a fellow Marine.
I believe that Maria would be alive today if the Marines had provided a more effective system to protect the victims of sexual assault.
Lauterbach's mother has repeatedly argued the Marines failed to take her daughter's rape accusations seriously and didn't do enough to find her when she suddenly disappeared. At a congressional hearing on sexual assault in the military, it didn't take long for frustration to show.
When it comes to sexual assault in the military, DOD has no credibility, absolutely none, zero, zip.
For fiscal year 2007, the Defense Department reports of the 600 sexual assault cases where action was taken, only 30% were courts-martialed. That compares to 40% prosecuted in civilian court, according to congressionally cited figures.
First, it deters victims from reporting rapes, and it fails to deter offenders. But second of all, it perpetuates the attitude, which all of us should condemn, that boys will be boys.
To take the opportunity to apologize to any soldier who has ever worn the uniform, who has suffered the outrage of sexual assault.
Maria Lauterbach's mother promises to keep speaking out for Maria and other victims.
I think she'd be very happy to know that we're keeping it going so justice will be done on her behalf, and that none of her other sister Marines will have to go through what she did.
Now, at today's hearing, they also revealed this stunning news. The General Accounting Office said that a Defense Department task force that was set up to see how well the Defense Department is handling rape victims has yet to have its first meeting, and it got its marching orders 2 years ago. Wolf?
They've got a lot of work to do over there to fix this problem. Susan, thanks very much. Meanwhile, there's been a major discovery on Mars. Scientists have long suspected there's water on the red planet, but now they have real proof it's there. Carol Costello is working this story for us. What are you learning, Carol?
Oh, my goodness, Wolf, this is fascinating. The Phoenix spacecraft has tasted Martian water for the first time. Let me explain. The robotic lab on Mars dug down through 2 inches of frozen soil in a trench on Mars, and it used its instruments to heat up that soil and melt the ice. And of course, that means water. That can be chemically tested. NASA can now figure out what that water is made up of, how long that water has been there, and maybe determine if there is or was life on Mars. Of course, life as we know it can only exist when there is water present. Well, this is a huge development because it confirms what scientists have long guessed, that there is water on Mars. The Phoenix lander will stay on Mars through September. And who knows what will happen next.
We'll watch together with you. Thank you, Carol, for that. Let's check back with Jack. He's got the Cafferty file. Jack.
Here's one of the understatements of the century. Our Congress ought to be ashamed of itself. Of course, they're not. Despite getting next to nothing done about the issues that trouble millions of Americans, things like energy costs and high gasoline prices, offshore drilling, Congress is set now to take a 1-month-long vacation starting tomorrow, 5 weeks actually. In the Senate, Republicans have been blocking any other legislation until they get a vote on drilling. And since the Democrats' prospects seem pretty good for November, then they don't want to cave into the Republicans' demands for a vote on drilling months before a new administration and Congress take over, because they think those will be mostly Democratic. So the bottom line is, to hell with what the public needs or wants, how can we turn the oil drilling issue into a political advantage for ourselves and then blow town for 5 weeks? Iowa Republican Charles Grassley may have put it best when he called the Senate constipated and said it could use a good dose of laxatives. If you're tempted to vote for any incumbent this fall, remember this. Congress plans to be out of town until after the conventions now. They'll return to Washington September the 8th, 5 weeks. If Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid had any guts, they'd cancel the vacation, keep Congress in session until some of these issues are resolved. It's no surprise the American people are disgusted with the whole lot of them. A new CNN Opinion Research Corporation poll puts Congress's approval rating at 22%, and that's probably too high. Other polls have the rating as low as 9%. This poll also shows that 76% of Americans say things are going badly in our country. You heard Bill Snyder's report earlier. Only 3 times in our past recent history have Americans been so discouraged about the state of affairs: Watergate, the Iran hostage crisis, and the economic downturn of 1992. So here's the question. In light of its many accomplishments, does Congress deserve a 5-week-long vacation? Go to CNN.com/Cafferty file. You can post a comment on my blog. Wolf.
Thank you, Jack, for that. Ron Unfiltered. John McCain warns that his rival's policy could mean a third Iraq war, and Barack Obama sounds off on the latest GOP attack ads. You're going to hear what the candidates are saying in their own words on important issues. That's coming up. And a new battle over when life begins, why a Bush administration proposal, even at this late date in the administration, would link birth control to abortion and what it could mean for you and your health insurance. Plus, a first-hand look at some of the new kinds of brain surgery, perhaps in the works right now. CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta, himself a neurosurgeon, explains why the patient is awake the whole time the doctors operate. Stay with us. You're in The Situation.
The Situation Room, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Viewed to be the best.
At Pella, we don't just see a house, we see what it can become, which is why everything we create for your home is done with you in mind. From the most energy-efficient windows available to shades protected between panes of glass to reduce dust and allergens. Call today for a free in-home consultation during Pella's summer window and door replacement sale. Pay no interest until 2010. Pella, viewed to be the best.
What if a car could call for help, even if you couldn't? The Chevy Malibu can. It has OnStar automatic crash response. In a crash, built-in sensors can automatically alert OnStar.
This is OnStar. I've got a signal you've been in a crash.
They can get the right help to your exact location, which could help save your life. Of course, not all cars have automatic crash response. Camry and Accord. Shouldn't you drive a car with OnStar? Find one at OnStar.com.
Larry King Tonight. Former cult members and their shocking claims. What they say they were forced to do in the name of religion. Former members of the Family International on Larry King Live. CNN Tonight, 9 Eastern.
Saturday and Sunday night, Christian Amanpour. Inside the world of Buddhism. In the fight for freedom and democracy. Their weapon is peace. They are Buddha's warriors. CNN Saturday and Sunday night, 8 Eastern.
At eHarmony, we pre-screen each and every member for you to determine your matches based on compatibility. Aren't you curious to see who you'd be matched with? Log on today and review your matches for free. eHarmony.com.
Man, Rihanna's so
Talented?
absolutely.
Yeah, she's pretty hot, too.
Yeah, we got stuff that lets you play her music, and after you study, of course. Oh, of course.
It's Back to School 101 at Circuit City with the coolest gear for class. Save $180 on this Acer Extensa and get a free printer, router, and security software for just $4.99 after mail-in rebates. Plus, get a free PC checkup no matter where you bought it. Circuit City.
You've known me your entire life. I've been in your house, eating at your dinner table. I'm Uncle Al. And what you don't know are the things I do to your kid when no one's looking.
Help make child sexual abuse disappear. Go to darknesstolight.org.
There's a new controversy right now over a Bush administration proposal that would equate birth control and abortion, and it could pit patients against some healthcare workers. Brian Todd has been looking into the story for us. It's sort of happening late in this administration. What's going on?
Well, Wolf, the Bush administration says this proposed new rule is just to protect healthcare workers who are uncomfortable providing abortions or even birth control. But pro-choice groups say this is nothing short of an attempt to deny millions of women access to contraception.
With less than 6 months left in office, the Bush administration sparks new debate over when life begins. The uproar is over the administration's definition of abortion, found in a document from the Department of Health and Human Services. The confidential draft, obtained by CNN, defines abortion as any prescription of drugs and any procedure that terminates a human life between conception and natural birth, whether before or after implantation. That includes birth control pills, IUDs, or morning-after pills.
It is dangerous, and it is anti-scientific, and it is a push of ideology in these last months of the Bush administration.
The definition's in a proposed HHS regulation. The rule would deny federal money to healthcare centers that punish workers who refuse to take part in anything from a clinical abortion to prescribing birth control pills. Supporters say laws against that kind of discrimination are already on the books and need to be enforced.
If a healthcare professional thinks that an action takes the life of a human, whether it be an early or end-stage abortion, they should not be forced to engage in that action, and you have to protect their conscience.
The plan would also allow insurers that get federal money to drop their coverage of contraceptives if they want to. Key to this debate, when pregnancy actually begins. The American Medical Association believes it begins after a fertilized egg is implanted in the uterus, so any contraception before that wouldn't be considered an abortion. But the administration seems to lean towards some medical dictionaries that say a woman's pregnant right at the point of initial conception. Contacted by CNN, an HHS spokesman wouldn't comment on the document because it's still just a draft. But he issued a statement saying the department has an obligation to enforce laws protecting healthcare workers in federal programs and is exploring a number of options.
Now, if this rule is enacted, it would not make birth control pills or IUDs illegal, but pro-choice groups are worried that it'll undercut state laws designed to give easy access to these methods of birth control that are used by more than 12 million women across the U.S., Wolf.
Thanks very much, Brian. Brian Todd working this story for us. We're also watching contraceptive use around the country. It's widespread, as you know. According to the Guttmacher Institute, more than 11.6 million women are on the pill. More than 38 million women use a contraceptive. 9 in 10 employer-based insurance plans cover a full range of prescription contraceptives. And 26 states have laws in place requiring insurers to provide contraceptive coverage if they cover other prescription drugs. To help you make an informed decision, we're bringing you more of what the presidential candidates are saying on the campaign trail. Here's Senator John McCain today in Racine, Wisconsin, speaking about the war and about his rival.
On Iraq, Senator Obama says he wants peace, but even today he opposes the surge strategy that succeeded in Iraq and will succeed in Afghanistan. His policy of unconditional withdrawal, regardless of the facts on the ground, which our highest-ranking military officer, Admiral Mullen, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said would be very dangerous. His policy could result in renewed violence and a third Iraq war. I hate war. I know it costs better than many. I'm going to end this war, but when I bring our troops home, they will come home with victory, leaving Iraq secured as a democratic ally in the Arab heartland. The bottom line is that Senator Obama's words, for all their eloquence and passion, don't mean all that much. And that's the problem with Washington. It's not just the Bush administration. It's not just the Democratic Congress. It's that everyone in Washington says whatever it takes to get elected or to secure the political future that they seek. If Senator Obama doesn't have the strength to speak openly and directly about how he will address the serious challenges confronting America, how will he be strong enough to really change Washington? We don't need another politician in Washington who puts self-interest and political expediency ahead of problem solving. We need to start putting the country's interests first and come together to keep American families safe and help them realize their dreams for a better life. My friends, in war and in peace, I've been an imperfect servant of my country, but I've been her servant first, last, and always. Whenever I faced an important choice between my country's interests or my own interests, party politics, or any special interests, I chose my country. Nothing has ever mattered more to me than the honor of serving America, and nothing ever will. If you elect me president, I will always, always put our country first. I will...
And coming up shortly, you'll hear Senator Obama in his own words. He's got some tough statements he's making today on all those negative ads. Stand by for that. And it's something we haven't seen in a while. Senator Hillary Clinton in front of thousands of people.
Let's commit ourselves to working day and night to ensure that the next occupant is not the senator from Arizona.
This time she's campaigning not for herself, but she's supporting Senator Barack Obama. We'll tell you what she had to say in her own words as well. Plus, she was fired after that Minnesota bridge disaster, so guess where she ended up getting a job? The federal agency that oversees your safety. Stick around, you're in the Situation Room.
Chloe is 9 months old.
She is the greatest thing ever.
One little smile, one little laugh. Anybody? We would do anything for her. My name is Kim Bryant, and my husband and I made a will on LegalZoom.
It was really easy to do.
We created LegalZoom to help you take care of the ones you love. Go to LegalZoom.com today and complete your will in minutes. At LegalZoom.com, we put the law on your side.
What do we fight for in Iraq? I have some idea. I fought in Operation Iraqi Freedom. And freedom means that when the Iraqi people and their prime minister ask us to make a plan to leave, we do. But Senator McCain would occupy Iraq indefinitely, against their wishes. That's not what freedom means. That's not what we fought for. Senator, I thought you would know better.
Oh, 先生你好，歡迎光臨，等等先。唔該晒。Brandon.
Have the time of your life and the deal of a lifetime. Fly free and save up to 30%. For full offer details, call 1-800-SANDALS or your travel agent or visit sandals.com.
My dad, he was completely wasted. He wanted to drive, and I let him.
Jake thought he lost everything.
I'm angry all the time.
You cannot live in the past, my friend.
Until one man showed him
People who come here for the wrong reasons, they never last.
the way of a champion.
What do I do?
Learn quickly.
Now, everyone has their fight.
So it's on me? Always has been.
Never back down.
Hit movies without the trip to the video store. On demand with Comcast Digital Cable.
Blue Dabs Tonight, 7 Eastern on CNN.
Doesn't anybody deserve a government that works?
Carol Costello is monitoring some other important stories incoming to the Situation Room right now. What's the latest, Carol?
Well, Wolf, a dramatic appearance at The Hague. The man accused of masterminding the massacre of thousands in the Bosnian War appeared in public for the first time since his capture last week. Missing that beard he used to disguise himself as a New Age healer. Radovan Karadzic looked more like he did as the Bosnian Serb leader, though older and thinner. Says he wants to defend himself and refused to enter pleas to 11 charges against him, including genocide. It is now legal for gay couples from out of state to marry in Massachusetts. Governor Deval Patrick signed the measure into law today. It repeals a 1913 law. Governor Patrick says the old law had its roots in racism, as it was seen as a way of preventing interracial marriages. A Minnesota transportation official who was fired for unprofessional conduct in the aftermath of the Minneapolis bridge collapse has a brand new job, and it's with the nation's Transportation Security Administration. The TSA confirms Sonia Pitt is working for the agency in an $89,000 a year job. The Department of Homeland Security has now launched an internal investigation into exactly why the TSA hired Pitt. Let's look at the headlines right now, Wolf.
We get the results of that investigation. Carol, you'll let us know.
Sure.
All right, good. Thank you. Hillary Clinton, she's back on the campaign trail right now. She's strongly backing Senator Barack Obama. She addressed thousands of people today. You're going to hear her message. That's coming up. And an up-close look at the same kind of surgery that Senator Ted Kennedy had. Awake and talking while doctors operate on his brain. Plus, the stories of Barack Obama and John McCain like you've never seen them. Why the creators of these books hope they'll bring a whole new audience to this election season. Stay with us. You're in the Situation Room.
Throughout history, new ideas have often been met with skepticism. But technology born from American ingenuity can achieve amazing things. We're committed to a future in which our most abundant fuel, coal, generates our electricity with even lower emissions, including the capture and storage of CO2. It's a big challenge, but we've made a commitment to clean. Learn more about clean coal at americaspower.org.
Testing. Check. Is Hertz there yet? Oh, here he comes, Hey, Hertz. They came and got me. We came and got you. They came and got him. So, you'll bill my insurance? We'll bill your insurance.
They'll bill his insurance.
You're going to nail me with the replacement rates, right?
No, we even offer one-way rentals.
Who do they think they are? Yeah, who do you think you are? Hertz.
And you are?
Well, I'm not a spy.
Hertz Local Edition. It's another way Hertz puts you in the driver's seat.
At Ditech, we're big on transparency. So if your arm is about to adjust, we'll give you clear, straightforward solutions. And we guarantee your monthly loan payment will never increase. We can even have an approval decision for you within minutes, all of which helps bring your home finances into focus. Refinance your arm into our low fixed rate of 6 1/8%. Call Ditech at 1-800-DITECH-1 or go online at ditech.com today.
A religion evolving from peace
Nonviolence has such a power. You can even change other people's minds.
Isn't that wishful thinking?
to protest.
What do we want?
If violence becomes out of control, my option is resign.
Join CNN's Chris John Amanpour in the world of Buddhism. What makes them Buddha's warriors? CNN Saturday and Sunday night, 8 Eastern.
Closed captioning hours provided by Vonage. For a better way to phone, call 877-4Vonage.
How much can you save on your phone bill with Vonage? Vonage saves you up to $300 a year. Call 877-4Vonage or go online to 4Vonage.com.
There's the week, there's the weekend, and then there's the weekender.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the subscription from the New York Times, I love it.
Like your whole weekend's just started. It's come a little early.
So the deal is you call the 1-800 number, and then you get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for $4.70, which is half off, which is pretty crazy.
So you get the Friday paper, and boom, you're right into the weekend.
Saturday. The word alone makes me happy.
I love to sort of pull everything out of the Sunday paper.
Travel section, magazine.
Weekend review.
The international news.
Book review. I got these really great boots after reading the Sunday style section.
All I did was call the 1-800 number.
I'm not one of those call now people.
Call!
You should call now.
I love to have the New York Times delivered.
Who doesn't like to save money?
Call now because it's a great deal.
It's like having a table of contents for everything in the world.
I mean, how much would you give for that?
The Weekender subscription from the New York Times. Get it now for as low as $4.70 a week. Call 1-800-727-7464.
Who doesn't like to start the weekend a day early?
To our viewers, you're in the Situation Room happening now. For some Democrats, if Senator Hillary Clinton isn't on the ticket isn't worth their consideration. We're going to take a closer look at why one group of voters jumping ship right now. And an amazing medical procedure in the aggressive treatment of brain tumors. The patient is wide awake while doctors work on the brain. It's the same surgery Senator Ted Kennedy had. We're going to get a first-hand look. And a congressional hearing based on a CNN investigation on Hurricane Katrina survivors. Congress wants some answers from FEMA. They want the answers right now. I'm Wolf Blitzer. You're in the Situation Room. Sources close to Senator Hillary Clinton say she's been slotted to speak on the second night of the Democratic convention in Denver, and that's making it look like the whole notion of a dream team has faded away. But Senator Clinton is back on the campaign trail right now. She's making a very strong pitch for Senator Barack Obama. Listen to this.
We have to elect more Democrats to the Senate, more Democrats to the House, and Barack Obama as the next president of the United States of America. I have stood against those forces who would deny the full potential of America. And so for me, this election is critical because I know what a difference it will make. And I also know Senator Obama. I have served with him now for nearly 4 years in the Senate. I campaigned with him and against him for more than 16 months on the campaign trail. And I have stood on stage with him in 22 debates, but who's counting? I have seen his passion and determination, his grace and his grit. His own life exemplifies the American dream. And just as I was in this race, for all those who did feel invisible, parents choosing between health care for themselves or for their children, workers seeing their jobs shipped overseas, small business owners who can't afford to pay the utilities, and so many who get sick to their stomachs when they pull up to fill up their gas tank. I know the best way we can stand up for you and for everyone who knows we can do better is to make sure we have a Democratic president taking the oath of office on January 20th, 2009.
Since Senator Clinton quit the race, some Democrats have actually been jumping ship and jumping aboard the John McCain bandwagon. Seeing as Mary Snow has been looking into this story for us. So, Mary, how much of a potential threat does this pose to Senator Obama?
Well, Wolf, to see the numbers tell it, it's less of a threat than it was a few months ago. But in scouting for votes everywhere, the McCain team here in New York is looking in some unlikely places. He wears Republican red and says he's eager to support John McCain.
I'm going to campaign for him, volunteer for him, whatever I can.
But take a closer look at Rajesh Rajagopalan's T-shirt, and you'll see what's different about this picture. He's a Hillary Clinton supporter, now part of New York's Democrats for McCain. How many in the room supported Clinton for president? Roberta Weisbrod opened her Brooklyn home to about 24 fellow Democrats and representatives from the McCain campaign. She admits McCain's chances are low in her heavily Democratic city.
I'm in the minority. I've seen revulsion and good friends like, no, this can't be.
She says she's been a fan of McCain for years. Others say their vote is more about voting against Obama. Wendy Goldstein says she had to prioritize her list of issues.
I'm concerned about the difference that I feel on social issues with a lot of Republicans. This is a time where the world is a scary place, and we need somebody who can stand up and be the leader.
National security is a theme McCain's New York chairman stresses while he pitches pragmatism to New Yorkers.
They like people who can reach across the aisle to solve problems.
That's a theme McCain has been stressing throughout the campaign.
I'll reach my hand across the aisle to Harry Reid or Speakers Pelosi or the others.
In recent days, he even praised Nancy Pelosi, telling the San Francisco Chronicle the top Democrat in the House is a, quote, inspiration to millions of Americans. But CNN's polling director Keating Holland says McCain faces an uphill battle because his appeal to Democrats has dropped in recent months.
There was a time when McCain was doing very well among Democrats. Now he's basically dropped down to the same levels that we would expect to see any Republican candidate have.
Now, for their part, a spokesman for the Obama camp attributes McCain's drop among Democrats to McCain's, quote, negative low-road attacks launched against Barack Obama. Now, what is up for grabs for both candidates, Democrats who supported Hillary Clinton, who tell pollsters they'd rather stay home than vote for anybody. Wolf?
Mary Snow in New York for us. Thank you. Let's get some more now of what the candidates are saying, raw and unfiltered. In Cedar Rapids, Iowa today, Barack Obama reacted to the latest McCain attack ad, the one that compared Senator Obama to Britney Spears and Paris Hilton.
Given the magnitude of our challenges when it comes to energy and health care and jobs and our foreign policy, you'd think that we'd be having a serious debate. But so far, all we've been hearing about is Paris Hilton and Britney Spears. I mean, I do have to ask my opponent, is that the best you can come up with? Is that really what this election's about? Is that what is worthy of the American people? Even the media has pointed out that Senator John McCain, who started off talking about running an honorable campaign, has fallen back into the predictable political attacks, the demonstrably false statements. You know, but here's the problem. And I'm not interested in getting into a tit for tat. These negative ads, these negative attacks, spending all this time talking about me and instead of talking about what he's going to do, that's not going to lower your gas prices. That's not going to help you stay in your home if you're falling behind on the mortgage. That's not going to help you find a job if it's been shipped overseas. It doesn't do a single thing to help the American people. It's politics as a game. But the time for game playing is over. That's why I'm running for President of the United States of America. Now, these kinds of Washington tactics distract, they divert, but they keep us from tackling the very real challenges that we face. And that starts, by the way, with energy. For decades, Washington has failed the American people on energy. And that has led directly to the current crisis. I mean, think about it. When George Bush came into office, he put Dick Cheney in charge of energy policy. Cheney met with the renewable energy groups once, the environmental groups once. He met with the oil and gas companies 40 times. And that's a pattern of talking about energy and talking about energy independence and talking some more, but never really doing anything about it. George Bush's approach was to let the oil companies write his energy policy. We cannot afford 4 more years of an energy policy dictated by the oil companies.
We have more from Senator Obama and Senator McCain in their own words coming up in the next hour. An influential New York congressman faces a public reprimand. It was an emotional moment on the House floor. We're going to show you what happened. And millions of dollars in supplies meant for Hurricane Katrina victims just given away. Now a CNN investigation leads to a hearing on Capitol Hill. FEMA is forced to answer questions. Stick around. You're in the Situation Room.
Let me tell you about a very important phone call I made. When I got my Medicare card, I realized I needed an AARP Medicare Supplement insurance card too.
One simple call gave me the chance to talk with a personal health insurance advisor
Who answered all my questions about Medicare Supplement plans, so I could understand it all. After I called, I was able to choose the plan that was right for me.
If you're already on or eligible for Medicare, call now to find out how an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, helps you pay some of the 20% of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare Part B. That can save you from paying thousands of dollars out of your own pocket. These are the only Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans exclusively endorsed by AARP, a name you trust. When you call now, we'll send you this free information kit with all you need to enroll, so you can join the millions of people who've already trusted us for their Medicare Supplement insurance. Plus, we'll send you this free guide to understanding Medicare.
The prices are competitive. I can keep my own doctor and choose my own hospital.
and I don't need a referral to see a specialist.
Call now to get the free information kit. Plus, we'll include this free Medicare guide. And the advantages don't end there. You can choose from a wide range of plans that are all competitively priced, so you can find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. There are virtually no claim forms to fill out. And best of all, they're the only Medicare supplement plans endorsed by AARP.
When they told me these plans were endorsed by AARP,
I had only one thing to say. Sign me up.
Call now, 1-800-495-9137. And let us help you choose the right plan. So call now, 1-800-495-9137, and find out about an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan. A personal health insurance advisor is waiting for your call.
The next leaders of our country are born here. The convention's on CNN. Starting August 25th, the Democrats. Starting September 1st, the Republicans. CNN and CNN.com have every history-making moment.
CNN equals politics.
CNN's Black in America, an extraordinary series, a tremendous accomplishment. CNN's Black in America is the most watched cable news documentary of the year, with nearly 13 million viewers.
This is CNN.
In terms of personal health, it's one of the worst case scenarios you can imagine. Learning you have a brain tumor and that the treatment is surgery. Now try to imagine being awake, yes, awake for that surgery. It's a rare procedure, but our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, is able to bring us a first-hand assessment of what's going on. This is the kind of operation, correct me if I'm wrong, that Senator Kennedy had, is that right?
That's exactly right. It's called an awake craniotomy. It's a procedure usually performed on tumors located in certain sections of the brain that control important functions. Well, think of our brain as a map. Different areas help us read, walk, talk, even cry and smile. So for tumors located in a crucial part of the brain, doctors perform that operation on patients who are awake in order to see what functions that may be affecting while removing the tumor. It is rare. We're going to show you some exclusive video of this operation being performed at Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis. The patient is a young patient. He was just diagnosed a few months ago. Again, we thought long and hard about showing you this. The video you're about to see is graphic, but I promise you incredible as well. Take a look. His name is Connor Mather-Licht. He's 19 years old, and he has a brain tumor. Because his tumor was located in such a delicate area of the brain, his doctors recommended he undergo brain surgery known as awake craniotomy with mapping.
To be able to resect the tumor in a best fashion, we should be able to find out where those critical functional areas are, and that's why awake mapping makes sense.
The patient is heavily sedated, but remains conscious, so the doctors can start to actually create a map on his brain. Once the skull cap is removed, that brain is exposed. Take a look at it. That's a functioning human brain, pumping to the beat of the heart. And keep in mind, the patient is wide awake.
Doing okay, Connor?
Yep. By stimulating certain areas of the brain and talking to the patient...
Connor, did you hear anything? Feel anything?
No.
On, off.
The surgeon can tell which of those areas are sensitive and need to be avoided during the operation. Here they are, creating the map of the brain. In Connor's case, he remained awake through the entire procedure.
reading Kurt Vonnegut out loud, while a section of his brain was completely exposed. If the doctors pressed on a sensitive area, Connor's reading would be affected, telling his surgeon that's an area to avoid.
Well, you see how I stop stimulating. He can say the name, but before that he can't.
Once the brain is mapped, the surgeon starts to remove the tumor, again, while the patient is still awake.
Right. Your voice is shaking.
It's shaking?
Yeah.
The procedure, which lasted about 5 hours, usually requires only a few days of recovery.
He was cooperative. He was very patient. And although we had some difficulty with reading, which I think will be temporary, his speech and all his movements remained intact.
Although Connor remains awake after his operation, he is exhausted. Because his tumor was large, covering a wide area, he's still sometimes having troubles reading and speaking, but his doctors expect a full recovery.
And it took Connor about a week and a half to recover. When he left the hospital, he could speak and read, and he was making great progress. His tumor was benign as well. They found that out. Great news for him. His doctor, Dr. Cohen, believes he's going to be able to go back to college in August with no problems after having had that done, Wolf.
That's really amazing, amazing work by your colleagues. You're a neurosurgeon. Have you ever personally done this kind of procedure, Sanjay?
I have. You know, it is a remarkable thing. I think even after you've done it, to actually see the brain there, be able to talk to the patient at the same time, but critically important, as we point out, Wolf.
Amazing, amazing work, Sanjay. Fascinating material, and we're really happy for that young kid as well. Good work. Thanks, Sanjay, for bringing us that story. FEMA is once again in the spotlight as lawmakers are demanding answers about millions of dollars worth of aid meant for Hurricane Katrina survivors. We reported that the aid simply sat in a warehouse for some 2 years before it was simply given away as surplus goods. Our Special Investigations Unit correspondent, Abby Boudreau, is working this story, working it very effectively, I must say. Abby, thanks for all the good work. All right, what did FEMA say today? They were in the hot seat.
Yeah, absolutely. Wolf, today was the first time FEMA agreed to talk on the record about the details of what happened in this case. It was also the first time FEMA acknowledged it made mistakes.
Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee scolded FEMA, saying it failed the American public.
That we need legislation to reorder the structuring of the distribution of aid to the needy, because every state government that has gotten this distribution gets an F, particularly in Hurricane Katrina.
In June, CNN first reported FEMA had given away 121 truckloads of brand new household supplies, all meant for Katrina victims. Those items had been stockpiled in warehouses and then declared surplus. FEMA told CNN no one was asking for those supplies, and that's why they were ultimately given away to 16 states and other federal agencies. U.S. Senator Mary Landrieu pressed FEMA about why it sat on the supplies.
You didn't contact your regional office. You didn't contact the state office. You didn't contact the nonprofit. How did you determine that these items were not needed?
If we don't have demands on that, no one asks for them, we have no requisitions for them, we determine if there's an ongoing need to keep them.
And for the first time, the FEMA assistant administrator responsible for handling supplies agreed to go on camera with CNN.
Did FEMA let the victims of Katrina down in this particular case?
No.
That is shocking for people. That is shocking for people to hear that FEMA is not acknowledging that you guys made mistakes in this case. You're saying you did not let the people of this hurricane down.
You asked me, did I let them down versus make a mistake? Did we make a mistake? Yes, and we all make a mistake. We acknowledge that. Can we do better? Yes, but did we let them down? No.
We also just learned a week before all the supplies were made available, the Louisiana Recovery Authority had sent a letter to FEMA asking for millions of dollars to help Katrina victims move out of their trailers and into permanent housing. Remember, at this point, they were asking for money because they didn't know all those supplies existed. Today, Senator Landrieu addressed that letter at the hearing and said she wants to know why top FEMA officials never responded.
Abby, I know you're staying on top of this story for us. Thanks very much for that report. Good update. It may not necessarily go down well with some Cuban Americans, but John McCain's wife may soon be linked to a beverage company that does business in Havana. And superheroes to some fans, the presidential candidates will soon be getting their own comic books, but they won't be wearing capes or tights. We'll show you the pictures.
Man, Rihanna's so
talented.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's pretty hot too.
Yeah, we got stuff that lets you play her music, and after you study, of course. Oh, of course.
It's Back to School 101 at Circuit City with the coolest gear for class. Save $180 on this Acer Extensa and get a free printer, router, and security software for just $4.99 after mail and rebates. Plus, get a free PC checkup no matter where you bought it. Circuit City.
Christian Amanpour takes you inside the world of Buddhism. Buddhist Warriors, all new, CNN Saturday and Sunday night, 8 Eastern.
Planning your summer staycation? Portland's first ever lacrosse festival comes to Hillsborough Stadium August 5th through 10th. It's MLL PDX presented by Comcast, and it's 5 days of affordable family fun. Learn to play from the pros, watch youth tournaments, and on August 9th, enjoy a full day of entertainment, food, and live music, followed by Oregon's first pro outdoor lacrosse game between the Philadelphia Barrage and the New Jersey Pride. To buy tickets, visit MLLPDX.com or call 503-797-9739. Sponsored by Comcast, Qdoba, Supercuts, Bigfoot Lacrosse, and Max Muscle.
Right now at Newburgh Ford, you can buy almost any new F-Series truck and pay exactly what we pay ourselves, the employee price. You'll save thousands. Plus, you keep all factory rebates, which are $2,000 to $3,000, and bonus cash, which is an additional $500 to $1,000. And if you currently own or lease a Ford, you can get an additional $3,000 owner loyalty rebate. Add it up. There's never been a better time to buy a new rig, and we have a terrific selection. See us today at Newburgh Ford and Mercury. We just work harder for you.
When the IRS levied my business and personal accounts, I didn't know where to turn. My CPA recommended American Tax Relief.
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, call American Tax Relief for a free consultation.
Look, the IRS is offering you a one-time opportunity to settle your debt. This is your 1 second chance. Use it well.
I thought I was going to lose my business, but American Tax Relief got me a second chance.
Call 800-898-0951 for a free consultation.
Planning your summer staycation? Portland's first ever lacrosse festival comes to Hillsborough Stadium August 5th through 10th. It's MLL PDX presented by Comcast, and it's 5 days of affordable family fun. Learn to play from the pros, watch youth tournaments, and on August 9th, enjoy a full day of entertainment, food, and live music, followed by Oregon's first pro outdoor lacrosse game between the Philadelphia Barrage and the New Jersey Pride. To buy tickets, visit MLLPDX.com or call 503-797-9739. Sponsored by Comcast, Qdoba, Supercuts, Bigfoot Lacrosse, and Max Muscle.
For shocking claims, Larry King, CNN Tonight, 9 Eastern.
Senators Barack Obama and John McCain will soon be getting their own comic books, but it's not necessarily just child's play. CNN's Corrine Winter has the story. Corrine?
Well, you're about to see John McCain and Barack Obama in a different light. Larger-than-life political figures giving new meaning to the term presidential material.
They've been everywhere this election year, from the campaign trail to late-night couches. Now the cover of comic books? That's right. Democratic presidential candidates Barack Obama and his Republican opponent, John McCain, gracing the pages of graphic novels.
It started as a joke.
But Scott Dubier of IDW Publishing says talk turned serious when his company considered using this unique medium to go beyond the headlines to entertain and educate the public.
We're trying to give a look into the lives of who these two men are and how events in their lives shape them.
The comic biographies, 28 pages of colorful text and art, purportedly trace McCain's and Obama's political and personal lives.
This is a comic book. Are people really going to take this story seriously?
I think they should.
Novelist Jeff Marriott, who wrote Obama's story, describes the comic as film on paper.
We go back to his very early days, son of a African man and a white Kansan woman in Hawaii. The convention speech is in there.
The speech from 2004, word for word.
I stand here knowing that my story is part of the larger American story.
John McCain's story was told through writer Andrew Helfer's pen, covering the senator's lengthy congressional career.
But I believe the amendment is wrong.
Back to his early naval days, including McCain's time as a prisoner of war in Vietnam.
It's a kind of life that lends itself to a graphic interpretation. You know, being a prisoner of war is a horrible experience, no doubt, but at the same time, it does make for good pictures.
The comic writers didn't want to just script colorful art. They say they did extensive research to ensure accuracy. Neither has decided which way to vote, but they hope it'll energize younger voters.
That if you put it in a form that looks like fun and it doesn't look like it's work to read this, kids will read this. And along the way, a number of them are going to get turned on by what they read, or at the very least, they go out to vote in November.
A pair of presidential hopefuls cast as superheroes, making their mark not just on politics, but pop culture.
The comic books come out October 8th, just in time for the election. Wolf?
Karine, thanks. I think I'm going to read those comic books myself. Let's check back with Jack. He's got the Cafferty file. Jack.
Good thing this isn't a 4-hour show, you know what I mean?
All the news you need to know.
Yes, and then some. Question this hour is, in light of its many accomplishments, does Congress deserve a 5-week-long vacation? And whether they deserve it or not, they're going on one starting tonight or tomorrow. Stacy in Virginia says Congress does deserve a month off, but they ought to not go on vacation. They should have to meet with their constituents every day to hear how congressional failings are putting the working people of this country in jeopardy. Then they might be motivated to come back and really do something. David in Virginia says, heck no, Jack. We have an energy crisis, financial crisis, immigration crisis, Social Security and health care issues, and that's just the stuff their constipation hasn't allowed them to fix in the last 30 years. These are the same people that vilified the Iraqi legislature, remember this, for taking a couple of weeks off before they finished remaking their entire government. PJ in Seattle says if all Americans would do as I have done for the last 5 elections, the government would be listening to us by now. If incumbent follows the name, do not vote for them. If a candidate has no political background, is a housewife, accountant, anything but a lawyer, vote for them. There'd be no more lifelong senators, congressmen, etc. They wouldn't dare take weeks off and refuse to allow bills to come to a vote. Taylor writes, politics at an all-time low. Whatever depths their approval ratings are currently, it's more than they deserved. I wonder how many plane tickets and gallons of high-octane gas they'll use to fill their luxury vehicles as they trot off to an unearned vacation. Where's the will of the people in this decision? The leaders will rue the day. Tommy in St. Louis, must be nice. Meanwhile, I have to do double shift just so my wife and I can get by. And John in Connecticut writes, think of it for a minute. Where can they do the least damage? In Washington or on vacation? If you didn't see your email here, you can go to my blog at cnn.com/Cafferty file. Look for yours there among hundreds of others. Mr. Blitzer.
Thank you, Mr. Cafferty. They're the companies Americans seem to love to hate. Record profits for an oil giant, but can they do anything about gas prices? And a CNN exclusive, John McCain talks about charges that Barack Obama is using race to his advantage. Stay with us. You're in the situation.
Brought her 2 little babies.
Pets all across America are now putting up their paws because they want to get Petty Paws. Petty Paws is the new, fast, easy, and gentle way to give your pet a perfect pedicure in just minutes. For years, pets have suffered through the injuries caused by conventional nail clippers because the nail contains sensitive tissue called the quick. Regular clippers cut blindly and are inaccurate, causing injury. In addition, regular clippers pinch down on sensitive nerves, causing pain, and can leave your pet's nails jagged and rough. But Petty Paws is designed to give your pet a proper and gentle filing, removing the enamel in thin layers. Perfectly controlled, so your pet is perfectly safe. In seconds, sharp and jagged edges are gone. So no more scratches for you, and your floors and your furniture stay looking new. Designed with a smooth rotary action and a protective guard, so it's easy to use, and there's no mess.
As a veterinarian, it's very important to me that we don't cause pain, and it's very common when you do cut the nails to cut it too short. With the Petty Paws, it guides you so that you're not likely to cause any pain.
Petty Paws, I mean, the nail fits right in there. You can't go any further. The dog doesn't try you where he does with the regular nail clippers. A much better way to do it.
So why not treat your pet like one of the family and give them the ultimate at-home grooming experience? Call now and get the Petty Paws for your pet for only $19.99. That's less than 1 trip to the groomers. As an added bonus, you'll also receive the amazing Shed Ender, the professional de-shedding tool for dogs and cats. It removes shedding hair trapped in the undercoat and makes their top coat shine. A $15 value, yours as a bonus. Just pay shipping. That's right, you get both for only $19.99, but you have to call now.
To order by credit card, call 1-800-295-2017. But call now. We're giving away a bonus shed ender with today's orders. So call 1-800-295-2017. That's 1-800-295-2017. Call now.
In February 2009, TV stations will broadcast exclusively in digital. Every TV that's hooked up to cable will still work just fine. But if you get TV through an antenna on an analog set, it won't work after February 2009. So call 888-DTV-2009 to learn about a government coupon program that begins in January, or visit dtvtransition.org.
Seem to be learning more and more each day about that salmonella outbreak. It's been now linked to some water, irrigation water in Mexico. I know, Lou, you've been all over this story from the beginning. Are there new developments happening even as we speak?
Well, there are new developments. Bart Stupak, congressman who's been leading the charge, his colleagues, they're holding the FDA accountable. And without them, this FDA would be a menace to society. As many as 30 to 40,000 Americans, Wolf, have been sickened in this salmonella outbreak, and this FDA still doesn't even know what is going on. I mean, it is an embarrassment. It's an outrage, and the American people, I have to say, have got to be delighted that a lame duck president whose administration has stood for this sort of indifference to the welfare of the American consumer is leaving town.
Are you at all optimistic that we're learning lessons from this that'll be applied in the future?
Well, I think so. I hope so. One of the first lessons is, as an American consumer right now, irrespective of what is going on in Washington, D.C., you better understand you're on your own, because this federal government isn't your friend.
We're going to have a lot more coming up in an hour on your show, Lou. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And happening now, John McCain's campaign accusing Barack Obama of using his race for political advantage. Wait until you hear how the Obama campaign is responding. And McCain is speaking exclusively to CNN about this